What up, guys? We're getting ready for day 3 of Premier League. That's right, Octane Collegiate is back. Day 3. Let me explain this because this is so important. Day 3 is the final group stage day of Premier League. What does that mean? Holy jump scare? Welcome, Spiteful. Oh, by the way, oh shit, I forgot to say this. Kuzer. Love you. There you go. There's your say my name, rename, and then yes, Kuzer. Thank you, you and OI, for contributing to the point pool. Anyways, day 3 of Premier League. What does that mean? Well, this is the final day of our round robin. We've got groups A versus C and B versus D on the scoreboard. So ultimately, what that will do is it will basically we'll take the top 20 teams from Premier League, we'll shove them up toward the playoffs on the top, and then we'll shove the lower 20 onto their own competition, where they will then spend several weeks competing for the final 20 slots alongside a mix of contenders, and I even think open teams that will have this massive bracket. So today is the final day of acquiring what I would consider your top 20 safety. To make it more clear, let's pull up the stats Octane really quick, because I'm pretty sure we've got them. Yep, we got the overall standings. Here, one secondo. Throw this on the right screen. All right. So this is currently where we're at, right? Atmosai, thank you for contributing your 2,000. Right now, Southern Miss leads the Premier Division. Cumberland University not far behind at 46. But then we have this kind of spattering where KSU's likely safe at 39. But from 34 all the way down to this minor tie at 17, there's not a huge gap that really separates you from the top 4. Every single week, they take your position within the top 20, and they give you, kind of like an ALGS, a overlying point standing that is then accumulated. So Southern Miss could win today again, and they would receive 75 points total and likely a first place finish. Here's the thing, though. The bottom 20 will go into a separate match day going into day 4 next week. The top 20, slightly different. So right now the cutoff is somewhere around 17. If I had to guess, we'll probably finish closer to about 30 for the bottom 20 cutoff. Right now, there are still quite a few teams that we really respect. Premier Match Days, you can see. Oh, yeah, there you go. You can see the Premier Match Days. Southern Miss, Cheetah, University of Calgary, Blue Falcons, KSU. Everyone's points is there, etc. There's also a thing in the announcement. I know I have it. I'm a gamer, and I know I have it somewhere. Anyways, whatever. All you need to know is that we currently have teams on the cusp, like ISU Farmers, who are... Scroll right. All right, whatever. All right. Thank you, OI. Good luck today managing, Mr. Admin. Right now, we have teams that had a pretty good start, but are on the cusp. Notably, I look towards ISU, CSUF, University of Houston, Utah with 17, Illini Orange with 16. I mean, these are very, very tight margins. It's a 1-point difference. And there's even bigger names. All right. We have TAMU Maroon, Minnesota State Mavericks. I wouldn't say St. Clair Saints. They don't have Yo-Roy anymore, etc. Now, most of these kind of have ended up down here to no surprise, but we will see how it goes. Hilariously, Ottawa, who has lost all their points due to cheating, starts at 0 for today. They still have a chance to maybe make it into the cusp if they somehow pull off a miraculous first-place finish, which, I mean, we'll see. Scroll to the right. There ain't much more on the right side, OI. I love you, though. Look at this. Welcome, Wizard. Welcome, Waffles. Gronk, thank you, wins these. Brother, I give up. Oh, I'm not that smart. Warchalk, thank you for contributing 2K points total. We are so close to our goal. I wish I could see it because I don't even know where we're at. Was on the match days page. Scroll right. Oh, okay. Here we go. So Premier Playoffs begins. Why is my moderator bullying me? I'm not slow, dude. I'm just confused. Top 20. All right. So then these 10 will move on. Okay. Then we have blah, 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 blah. These teams will move on to what looks like just different lower rounds. Whatever. Hold on. I have a better graphic for this. I gotta scroll up and grab it, but 1 second. I definitely have a better graphic for this. Here we go. This is what we are at. So today is day 3. You will be placed in the top 20 or the bottom 20. Okay? You will then have to do a combined playoffs if you end up on the lower side of the bracket. The top 20 gets a little bit of safety. The big thing is top 10 will move on from here on day 4 to the Premier Regional Finals. All right? And that is important. Right? So we have a little bit of a kind of like a relegation sort of day 4 and day 5, where going into playoffs, there is a chance you lose your position. So you don't want to be in the bottom 10. As the rule with any major bracket competition, you don't want to be in the bottom 10. So that's currently where we're at. Today's the final day to decide that. Here's your overall standings. A couple of teams are in the lead. We've got groups A versus C, and we're almost in the game here. We've only got like 3 or 4 minutes. Notable selections for today. We do have Bellevue University, who, while not in first place after their kind of rough fill the other day, they are in this lobby. Of course, we have KSU, University of Calgary, Utah, Augusta, TAMU, KSU Black, I'm pretty sure. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. I love Zephyr. Want to see how gross this ring is? Not really. We'll see how it goes. Yes? All right. First prediction of the day, by the way. We are going to start this up in a second. First prediction of the day. This one's going to be a little funny. Over, under, match, quality of 8. All right, you guys got 5 minutes to get your predictions in. Over, under, a match quality of 8 on Overstat. We'll be able to check it after the end of this game. You have to predict how good the quality of the first match will be. We're going to Storm Point. We've got Fisher up in Ferrari. This is going to be their first day playing with Dom and Serial Cat together. So we have no idea how they're going to go. I pray for the Gamerhawks up here in North Pad. They're going to get launched upon. Ottawa, we'll see how it goes right here with Checkpoint. The north side's kind of crazy. Bellevue's also right here by the wall. So this section is just absolutely schnasty. Both KSUs, KSU Black, who's done really well, KSU Gold at Cito Station. This is a disgusting northwestern side. And then, Utah, they're going to be kind of on the defensive end with Stormcatcher here. Not the most extreme of rotates like a lightning rod from like University of Houston Red, but still they can play gatekeeper and they can find stuff. How does draft seeding work on a round robin? Ask OY. That one's a big one I never understand. KSU win, KSU win, KSU win, KSU win. Today may be the day. I'll tell you what, with Fisher being the new roster, Dom, Serial Cat, and Sloth, and then, of course, with Bellevue actually participating this week, Vaudry, Muffins, Jukesy, it's going to be hard. It's going to be very hard. University of Calgary, by the way, all the way down here in the devastated coast. We don't talk about them as much as we should. They are also extremely good and will be competing in this lobby today. So we'll see how it goes. They might pick up some free KP out here towards the east. We'll just have to see how that first zone and first rotation falls off. We're going to be jumping into game here. Remember, I don't control the flow. Peep the goals, by the way. Check this out. I'm pretty sure you can read this. I don't know if you can, but we are, small promo. We are 23 subs away for custom emotes for the channel. A huge thank you again to Void, by the way, for the major dono. 100 subs. I literally cannot stop appreciating that one. 17, 140. There you go. There you go. We know. Everyone gets... We do placement weekend, gauge skill that ranks, etc. Look me up doing mod things. Hey, that's where we're at. Right off the board, I can tell you Caustic will be banned next game, and that's really the only thing that matters. I think almost every single team has a Caustic on it. There's a few I saw there, but that's likely the first ban. Utah Pathy, hey, they like a little extra movement, Interceder. What can I say? Now remember, I am not observing for the day. We're going to say thank you, kiss, kiss, fall in love, to our observer. They work very, very hard. And hopefully we catch all the action here. But if we don't, all right, I want you guys to be nice. I want you guys to play. Hashtag if KSU doesn't win, I will blow his shit smooth off. What the heck? Anyways, last chance to get your points in. You got 1 minute and 30 left. Remember, it is over under a match quality of 8 coming out of the first game here. High bets already. 160 for the over. 5,600 for the under. Gotta say, it is a steep under. All right. Not a lot of faith in the match quality today. All right. Joining in with CSUF Blue. We talked about how they were not super close. Would have been fair if it was 6.5. 8, though, we're pushing it. I have faith. I have faith. The first games can be quite intense, you know? It's usually the very first game of the day that really, really draws it out of everybody. Oh my god, it's a cenote cave zone! Oh! We do not get these enough! Oh my god, this is one of my favorite zones in Apex. Oh, dude. Okay. Now I see what you were saying earlier before we got into it, Kuzer. Yeah, cenote cave is super fun. Obviously, I'm of the belief that you have to kind of get there to play for the end game. We do have a lot of really edge-rotating teams who tend to get aggressive, though. So, right off the bat, I talked about it. Gamerhawks Navy, I was worried about it. Fisher Esports have already arrived here, and, well, Dom2 Cracked and Serial, they're not going to slow up any different than how they've played in scrims. We'll see how that comes to benefit them. Door broken down, Serial through the other side, and a knock already onto Ice Spray. Drop from the back end, and Dom2 Cracked is burning through. And they've lost out in Serial, and one is low, but if Dom can get the heal off, it is an official 2v1 here. Taking their time. Mystical Maverick is on the outskirts. Potentially playing for their life. 2, hey, welcome. KK Mom, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. We're KK Mom. Mystical Maverick inevitably found out here. And for Fisher, they're already starting off our day 3 with a bang. Serial Cat from Pro League and Dom2 Cracked, who's been around the Tier 2 scene for quite some time, right? They showcased in scrims how aggressive they can be. This is Asworld. Cask RC, good job, C. You're making it hard on me there. Thank you for the follow. Let me do that again. Cask RC GJC, thank you for the follow. All right, Trapsky, of course, thank you for the follow. We might have to move those. Either way, Augusta Esports here, making the rotation down. A little bit of a quick slide. Bellevue University working up against this squad is never a position you want to find yourself in. Already with Toasted eliminated here, they could suss out the remnants. Remember, this is a very far zone. A lot of teams are going to be cut off by the pressure of having to rotate super far from the northeast, the north, and the east. Bellevue's going to take this time and maybe thirst for a couple of extra kills. You can see Vattery there getting the knock on to 424. And for Augusta Esports, they join us in 19th here. Bellevue with their initial wipe, and the rest of the lobby is making their way in. Kind of sucks for Indiana University, Pennsylvania there. They are, I believe, a duo starting off the match here today. Kind of sucks because the zone pulled right on top of them. That would have been the perfect opportunity for them to at least work into a top 5 because, as I said before I was interrupted, I really like teams that prioritize getting to Cenote Cave because a lot of the chokes can be very, very gate held or gate kept by other teams as the match goes on. Tamu Maroon, a team I think we are all watching here today. They are distinctly going to be in a situation where they need to play out of their minds. Right? Can't be a bad day. It has to be clean. Indiana University, Pennsylvania, right up against the likes of West Virginia Wesleyan here. This is a roster that has the full force, and yes, the numbers advantage, but I'll tell you right now, they are the better team. Doesn't matter if it's a 3v3. they will make short work of the Indiana University Pennsylvania squad. And for West Virginia, we'll get this time completely alone to their south. We're going to jump back on over to Fisher Esports, though. They're going tied for toe here, potentially against Bellevue. Couple quick reads from Dom2Cracked is in the kill feed there. We see the continuation of West Virginia and a little bit of KSU against the other squads here. Point blank, full send, EMP right to go alongside it. It was Smokes will delay. Sloth and Serial Cat out on the edge. There's that Maggie ball to disrupt the flavor. I don't even know what kind of engage we're looking at, but ultimately it seems like Bellevue are out of it. Quick update, Mez, Utah. A little bit of a knock response there in the kill feed. We'll check in potentially later. For now, Fisher playing gatekeeper to take that port back away to the edge of zone. Can definitely prioritize, well, at least seeing if they can aggress upon Bellevue here, but it's gonna take a second. I don't know if I like them deep in the trenches on a push. Bellevue's still kind of hanging out on the edge. Remember, it is just a round one close. They don't have to invest in fighting this. They can play a little bit further back. We jump a little bit towards University of Utah. Looks like they are safe, so did not find any kind of full send on their aggression. Meanwhile, Bellevue University now forced to make a decision, especially with that zone closing in. Serial Cat popped in response, but a shield break comes through on the other side. It's going to be Dom out in the forefront of chasing out this fight right into the smoke here. 99 on the ready. Drone out as well. Doesn't have that EMP, but he can use it if he needs to, just for the extra information. What up, Hillbilly Deluxe? Welcome, my brother. I mean, geez, we are, like, tied for tails. Bellevue's going to look to escape towards that checkpoint area, and I think Fisher have lost them. Meanwhile, University of Utah, another drop onto West Virginia. Teams like KSU, University of Hawaii here, good presence in the direct center of zone. This is a great place to hold on to. Like I said, I love when teams play for the heart of zone on these Cenote Cave finishes. Gotta hit it. There we go. 81 on the board and not much more. We need to make you some overlays. Yeah. Hey, I'll take the volunteer. If someone's got the graphical skill, I'm more than happy to have some integrated overlays. It is just, you know, what it'll be is what it'll be. All right, so Bellevue went for checkpoint. Fisher's on the edge. We do have University of Houston here. Quick scan will reveal the action potentially near them. What you need? Just like goal overlays and stuff. MS Paint and a can-do attitude? All right, I don't know about that. University of Calgary, like I've said many times, we don't really talk about this roster enough. They are what I would consider a top 5 team in Octane Collegiate. They've got the history to boot. University of Houston Red, we talked about the overall standings. They're in the Bop Den 20. Evac tower in point-blank range, and somehow, surprisingly, they get to leave for free there. You saw FPSA there, almost perfect on the lineups, but the rest of the team, no damage further. I could do some crazy on MS Paint. Hey, I respect it. I can too. I just, I like the integrated stuff. Like, if I get a sub, it'll update automatically. So, you know. And I'm not that smart. And, hey, hashtag H for P, T-Dubs. We got a lot of that today. Let's look for the full send here for Fisher at any given point. There's the drop on a University of Houston off that knock. This long-range G7 scout from Sloth, though, makes short work of 2. One final remaining member for the University of Houston squad. They'll pop a couple of nades out in the distance, and that'll be it. Looks like it was a full thirst from FPSA there. Serve Garrison going down at the hands of University of Calgary on the other side here. Fisher, though, brunt of damage on their back. Remember, these edge holdouts can get very dangerous. We'll jump on over to Temple Cherry in the heart of zone here. Meanwhile, Ottawa Braves not far away. A quick port away from whoever that was on the outskirts there. Leads to them not quite finding any additional knocks. You can tell they might be down below here. Quick attempt to look from RJ. Couple of shots, port away. Flesh found. Nice follow through, and that Nikosu drop tells me that this is SJSU. Teleport from the other side to PK is a quick chunk of damage on the other side. Cloaked could look. Reek finds Viking Cap, but a port through sends SJSU Blue packing in 15th place. Preying on the Tamu downfall? I'm not. I wonder how you could tell. All right, you know. Slight bias. But I'll tell it how it is. I want to make that clear. There has never been a time that I have not told it how it is with Texas A&M. If they suck, I am the person there deliberating that concept, okay? Anyways, Bellevue University still working their way from the edge of zone. Have not gotten the opportunity to really fight for space here. And this is worrisome. We are starting to get into that round 3. They're all the way towards checkpoint. Teams like U of C, Fisher here, they're more closer to the edge where I'd like Bellevue to be, and they might gatekeep this. I can't wait when Mav returns next year. He'll be legal. He'll be clean. He won't have cheated. You're like their big brother? I've been told by the Tamu roster I'm like their dad, which I don't know how to feel about that, given I'm only like 2 years older than most of them. All right, point blank Ottawa here. Face of zone, a crack for RJ, but he's got to retreat back here. Already taking that altar teleport. Couple of protective shots from Cloak, but not enough to prevent this team from really getting into zone. Being a dad is awesome. I'd love to be a dad. I think being a dad is a great advantage of life, as well as being a mother. All right, we're done with that. I see what's happening in chat. No more. We got a couple of knocks. University of Calgary, KSU, tons of fighting towards the heart on the south side. Hey, you don't have to delete the message. You don't have to delete the message. I'm more chill than that, you know. Either way, misplays here with the full thirst onto University of Hawaii's Shake. Lets me know that KSU Gold got quite a few nice knocks. Now, the reason why you don't see these full wipes on squads is because if any of them contest or go against each other directly in the heart of Cenote, I mean, there's not going to be a lot of survival there. Most teams will immediately fall through. All right. Massive response there. Thank you, AK1568. We'll watch as Fisher Esports is fighting for a place in Cenote. They need one of these buildings out through the other side. Tamu Swifty will be eliminated there. Dom 2 Crack will send Nabber packing, and with Pear nowhere to go. They did at least get the double knock onto Serial and Dom 2 Crack, but Sloth is still the heart of this team, whether you like it or not. That'll be a nice place for them to play, and for Tamu, a loss in 14th. It just is so rough, especially against a team like Fisher. What can you even do there? All right, what can you even do? Rip Tamu, guys. Temple Cherry here fighting on the edge of zone. Don't get the opportunity to get that castle wall down. This could be a commit from the University of Utah. Mez sneaking through the other side. Meanwhile, holding a height here all the way in the back from Narwhal Boy. I believe this is going to prevent this other squad from getting in on the action there that we just saw. Southeast Avery does officially go down. A couple of full thirst, and we'll say goodbye to Evil Howl. So this is that third team that did get the knock here. University of Utah are more than happy to take their time, let this fight play out. Southeastern eliminated, West Virginia gone. Here's the rotate from Mobius and crew, and point blank around the edge. I mean, you can't escape. Temple Cherry, as sad as it may be, they didn't get the opportunity to play for protection there, and they're gone. Ottawa Braves just as quickly wiped by Fisher Esports, who don't stay in their building in the north for long. They just keep moving around this map, wiping squad after squad. They're going to shoot for the highest amount of KP. UFC Exodus, edge of zone, playing the height, coming off of Cenote. This zone, by the way, is pulling directly to the open area in the sea there. That means if you don't have a Newcastle Ultimate or any kind of defense, you are in dire straits. Even University of Utah, I mean, they're going to have a rough time. Sloth Sista, thank you for the follow. I don't know if you're the official Sloth Sista. I'll tell you what, your brother, if that's the case, kicks a lot of ass, and he has for a long time, whether it be UCF Knights or the Fisher roster. He's a fantastic player. University of Houston, or my apologies, University of Hawaii, up on height here. Chunk of control and a half. Still not a lot of answers for any of these teams on how they want to fight into zone. Think about the caustic gas traps, the castle walls, any source of defensibility. The further you are from this zone, the harder it's going to be to walk in. A team like Purdue Black, this is tough for them, right? They've got quite a route to cover here. We've already got KSU Black. Couple of nades. Yeah, water pole. I am his sister. Welcome. Thanks for joining the stream. Thank you for the follow. We'll watch and see if they can continue their success. Meanwhile, University of Hawaii already with a knock onto Purdue Black. UFC with another there on Hawaii in the backside. I can't imagine Hawaii is going to last for long. Meanwhile, for Bellevue, at some point, they got the full revive. Last time we checked them, there were just one team remaining, and now they're taking squad for squad here. Now, they don't have a lot of defense, and there's only one person remaining. Hawaii has survived off of resets from the Newcastle Ultimate, but so many teams are being deleted by the edge of zone. Hawaii continues to thrive. Aegis is less than one. A castle wall has been set up, and Hawaii is successful. We've got Hawaii, Calgary, Fisher here, Utah, the top 5 screens. Fisher's taking their time. Couple of nades, and we'll say goodbye to misplays and Aegis there. Down to our top 4. University of Calgary, Utah, Hawaii, and Fisher. Utah are the only team in the dead set center of zone. This is as nasty as it gets for an end zone. Drone deleted. Shake knocked. Point blank port through the other side. And they're learning how quickly you cannot peek these edge. I would bet money on Fisher. We'll see. Looks like University of Hawaii are likely going to be that next team out. Everyone's got a really nice line of sight on them, and they will commit damage here. There goes some of those walls, and you're just basically playing against the edge. They'll retreat towards the edge of rock where we saw KSU Gold a second ago, so they will be safe for now, but, I mean, it just moves them that much closer to Fisher Esports, who are more than happy to put some damage down on you. You can see Thigh already eliminated. There's that re-knock again from Serial Cat, and props where it's due to Hawaii. They continue to just keep this one gunning. Point blank on the EMP. There's the nade above. A reposition of the castle wall. Up on the height goes Serial Cat. He doesn't get the beam off. Dom 2 cracked, eliminated there, and there's no full knockdown. The gas is ticking. Serial Cat has to retreat back down to the water, and University of Calgary is moving in for the thirst. Serial Cat on the other side means it'll likely be the end of Fisher here. Meanwhile, Calgary looking for places to choke on for Utah, and this movement from Fisher have given University of Hawaii the opportunity to survive that much longer. Serial Cat could be playing it quiet as a rat, but once again, Utah on height here. A definitive advantage. Serial Cat does have both banners. He also has that Moby for the respawn. Here it comes. There's the reset from Fisher late at the edge of zone here. We'll see if they'll be punished. Remember, everyone should be looking at this. Point blank out from height. DK shot for 24 and no official knocks. Fisher are back in it. All remaining members here into the top 4. I can't believe they're allowed to do so, but remember, they are sharing space after space here to work with. Now, you see, they don't have a way to get to height here. They have the double jump of the Sparrow, but the reality is they cannot punish Utah unless someone else puts a port for them down. Utah has the zip line. Fisher has the altar. Aether gets the knock onto Sloth. University of Calgary lead the fight against the likes of Fisher. Maybe they get the reset there. Couple of ports out on the other end. You can only assume that's Fisher. They're the only altar left in the lobby. They do get that reset onto Sloth, but remember, we are ticking on the edge of survivability right now for the Fisher roster. Round 6 on the close, and for Sealed New, a follow finds its way forward here before the end. University of Calgary take their time. Everyone just fighting for the place they can just last. Watch for this, by the way. Fisher are going to make an attack. They are going to move to height here at some point, or they're going to go for a full send on one of these 3v3s. They have quite some time on the edge of zone. But there it is. Utah's caustic gas against Serial Cat, whether it be the trap. Mez with a commit from above on the PK, and Dom 2 cracked as the last remaining member is ticking from the gas. He'll get the break, but the follow through of the final Stinky will send Fisher completely eliminated out. It's a UFC Hawaii Calgary finish here. I mean Utah, my apologies. Meanwhile, Utah now turns their attention towards the University of Calgary. Their height still in play. Hawaii begins to peek out on the other side. You can see how much that gas is putting in work. Meanwhile, Mobius down, but remember, they don't have a way to get to the top here. No one can get to the height against Utah. Mobile shield down, and the gas is stinking. Calgary's trying to turn their attention to Hawaii, but once again, constant peppering from Utah makes this hard. Mobius with a drop onto Aether. A couple of quick pumps onto University of Hawaii. This is going to be the last damage they can get before they're forced to drop. Narwhal slams into the zone of the castle wall. A quick pump or two in the back of the edge of zone makes the 2v1 from behind. University of Utah, your winners of game 1. Woo! What an insane zone. What an insane finish. What a controlled end for the University of Utah. The lack of height, the lack of playthrough, everyone just had to sit below and take it. You guys ask what legends are banned. Hawaii was goated. What a start. In the end, we'll see how the rest goes. Let's jump on over that scoreboard here to discuss where the points have fallen. Yes, there are legend bans, and like I said at the beginning of this game, Caustic, high priority for so many of these teams, and you saw exactly why, especially from Utah's perspective there. In the hands of Mez, he put out 3,154 damage here to get those knocks, and most of that was found from the gas up above. Mobius and Narwhal boys, respectively, close out the remaining total for 14 kills and a 26-point scoreline for Utah. They do end up with the highest kills in the lobby, but Fisher are a close second. 13 kills. Fourth place with 5, 18 points total there. Maybe not as impressive when it comes to the damage totals, but the consistency is something that we all have to fear today. Fisher will replicate this constant amount of aggression, especially as we reintroduce Stormpoint again. If my name is the Gamerhawks Navy, I would be getting out of Northpad immediately. University of Exodus, 17 points there, 10 for University of Hawaii, 9 for Bellevue. They pick up 6 KP. That gives them a little bit of their jump, and then diminishing returns for the rest of the lobby down. There's still a lot of time for teams to work their way into something a little bit more healthy here, but we've got quite a bit of games ahead of us, right? So we'll see how it goes. We are going to be getting back onto Stormpoint. Once again, let's take a look at those drops. Notably, Fisher, we saw them achieve what was the aggression against the Gamerhawks there. A shout out to Hawaii from Jurassic. There's a reason why they were pretty close to making that rotate into Cenote, but their survivability was beautiful. What's even more impressive is how University of Utah, all the way from Stormcatcher, makes such a definitive rotate all the way to the south side of zone, playing into the ocean there. So, pretty impressive. I hope you guys can hear that absolute vroom vroom outside, because that is loud. Devastate Coast for the University of Calgary, and we get a little bit of an inkling for where and how these teams made their rotate. But I'll tell you what, things will change, zones will change. Let's look at that prediction, by the way, before we get into game. The quality score finished at a 6.6. Congratulations to the 13.6 thousand that picked the under. You guys win that one. And what we like to do here is we like to then take our win, 14 kills on University of Utah. I'm not going to go that aggressive. I'm going to start our next prediction. Over, under, 7 KP, Utah. Over, under. This is a team I would say has the capacity to do it. 7 KP for Utah. Get your bets in. You've got 2 minutes to do it since we're much closer on game start. Get your bets going. And once again, a reminder, we've got a 500,000 community point goal. If that is achieved, I will host my own tournament. I will host my own prized and sponsored tournament for any amount of players. 14 channel points, goated payout. There you go, Grap. Congratulations to those 14 channel points. And once again, a thank you to everyone who's tuning in here. Let's see if our game is officially ready. Here we go. 20 squads on the board, and we are already deep into that round 1 close. Fisher Esports have taken their time. Hillbilly Deluxe, thank you for the 2K on the points community grind. T-Dobs, I wouldn't say I love gambling, but if it's gambling with fake points that don't affect you or hurt your standing at home or your financial status as a human, then yes, I support it. Until they pay me lots of money to say that I love it. Then I love gambling. Anyways, Gamerhawks Navy here. I said you've got to get out of dodge. You know Fisher are coming for you. There's the point-blank trident that you can't even aim at. If I was Gamerhawks Navy, I would understand that I can't win this fight, so I have to leave. Fisher have arrived, and Strafe's already cracked up above. This does not give me confidence in the Gamerhawks Navy chances here. Couple of Maggie drills from the other side, and they're going to hold on where it is. Bozy, Visual Void, thank you for the 2K. We're going to make that tournament happen. And Sealed New, I know you're new here. Thank you as well. All right, you could hear the ports on the interior from Fisher, slowly taking up height. Reverse Dizzy, caught on the side. Have to be careful. They're going to look for alternative angles up to high ground, back through the port before any damage can be down. The drone eliminated. That's information, though, they have on the board to work with for this push. Serial Cat looking out through the other end. Point blank there. Sloth with a knock on a Mystical Maverick. It is a 2v3. They can take their time, get these heals, but Domju cracked up the height for the full thirst on the secondary height. They'll find another. Meanwhile, Sloth has arrived. The cleanup crew, the definitive leader, the man who puts 90 then 30 on the board. One final member for Gamerhawks, and Sloth will deliver the punishing blow. 20th again here for the Gamerhawks Navy. From the University of Tennessee, Martin, the Gamerhawks have to adapt. They have to learn. There's a reason why I put them so low on my power or my tier list. They're not adapting. You have to adapt. You know this is what's going to happen. Move. Either way, we'll see how the rest of the day fares and where they start later on today. University of Texas White. They've also had quite some rough starts. Meanwhile, Double Dancel with a heal. Don't quite see how they're setting themselves up. West Virginia Wesleyan have been pretty good in scrims recently, by the way. Kind of on the lower half, but Dean PS makes for good work. Southeastern, by the way, Vortex with a double knock drop onto FPS Aether and Carvester in the kill feed. There's one remaining member of Calgary. We're going to jump on over here. We don't know where that final individual is, but looks like they might have been caught out here. Calgary, not super far away in the devastated coast. Likely still trying to survive. You can see out to the south there. That's where they remain. More in the devastated coast, though. Purdue Black here. Maybe looking to start their own fight. A couple quick ticks on the board with the edge of the wall. Door for door. And there's the Arc Star. Nade for nade. And the blasts begin by Gerald. Done and dusted. University of Hawaii don't even get to play the game for what was such an incredible survival in Game 1. They are gone in 19th. That's a big fat donut. Start your other end here. Southeastern Blue won't be able to find that other remaining member of Calgary hiding under the stairs. One tick of HP to do them in. They're still in the area. Many teams don't have to rotate far to get in zone. Meanwhile, for Bellevue University, Augusta looks to be their targets here. Point blank onto 316. 424 got to be the other person on the other side of that one. See where they may set themselves up here.
Let's go over there.
And it's 424 is already down. It was just Toasted Grill. It wasn't even a 2v3. It was just a 1v3 situation. Bellevue make for quick cleanup here, and we're going to keep taking a look at the rest of these lobbies. Heart of Zone towards Launchpad. We already have KSU Gold, SJSU, and a few other teams I didn't quite get the read on. See how it goes. KSU Gold giving them the exterior. I don't mind this building, but it depends. Sometimes it can get a little bit hectic when teams are trying to fight for this space and holding on to it on all sides, given that it is a double-stacked building, two together. It can get hard for KSU Gold. Meanwhile, Aegis, though, all the same, committing to a couple of nades on the exterior there. We did see what I assume was a little bit of the Wraith port, or no, the Altar port. It's not the full KSU squad, but they have arrived for a little bit of coverage. They ported out through the other side down below. Meanwhile, Bellevue, a pick onto Double Dancel. This is that University of Texas White roster that we had seen all the way in Barometer a second ago. I can only assume this is some of their final members here. And I mean, It's just an aim difference. I mean, even though he misses a couple shots there, that's your time to get a response on your own clip. And University of Texas White just doesn't have the caliber to do so. So they are eliminated. 17th down, couple in the kill feed. We see Allow there. Maybe leading to start their own. KSU Black, the team holding the interior of building here in the launch pad. Blue Sky setting up a couple of walls with the line here on that Watson. Give themselves a little bit of safety on the interior. Can be good, but remember, there are multiple floors to this building. You're not going to be able to hold on to them all. Bellevue continues their chunk of aggression, and before we can even see that they're fighting, the University of Houston is eliminated. They pretty much just walked straight into them and said goodbye. Now we've got Tamu Maroon, Temple Cherry, everyone flying in. There's the pings from Tamu Maroon. They see someone is here. They don't know this is Bellevue, but man, oh man, they better be careful like it is. Teleport through the other side from Swifty. You have to wonder if Bellevue has moved any further forward there. A couple of nades invested from the other end, and Swifty already burned out from a peek on the door. Bottery, not much better themselves. Jukesy and Muffin's gonna have to hold on tight here. Waffles, thank you for the 2K. Here we go. Jukesy just as quickly peppered out, and Tamu Maroon are taking this slow. Piece by piece, though, they themselves also whittled down. Couple breaks on the Watson fences, and Bellevue are understanding that this seems to be a fight that isn't completely advantageous. All three members hit by the EMP there. Nabber broken on his shield. The commit from Bellevue as a nade goes wide. Keeps Zifty out for now. Covering that right-hand side. They're just trying to watch as that rolling thunder from Vattery has come through. A little bit of a break on the exteriors. Jukesy has just as quickly responded on that wide peak. Out from the other side. I can only assume this is a third party that has now gotten involved hearing the shots. Yep, it's Fisher Esports. You know they love a little bit of aggression. You know they love to hear some of the action. And Fisher from the backside are going to send it here. Whether it be Tamu, whether it be Bellevue, they're in point-blank range. 108, 48, a quick swap for the other side. And that'll be Muffins down for Bellevue. Fisher potentially looking to now take the crown away from such a distinct leader here. Just as quickly as I say that, though, Sloth is sniped from a distance. CSUF will go down the kill feed at the hands of the new Ottawa roster. And Bellevue, well, just Jukesy here. Won't be able to get that revive onto Muffins. We'll have to play for potentially the banner reset here out towards the west. Fisher are the winners of that fight. And Tamu, we don't know where they went. They escaped the onslaught of action. 14 squads remaining. SJSU Blue hold the height here in Launchpad. This is a good place to control, but it won't result in a ton of KP. It's just something to hold on to for now. KSU Black still in their building in the heart of this zone. They don't have it shared with anyone else, but watch. As time goes on, you could potentially see it. Tamu Maroon, we asked where had they gone. They moved down towards this low ground building. It still leaves me a little worried. Fisher were up on height. They can come down, right? They can drop down here and shred through you like they did last time.
I think I hear an enemy. That way. Far.
Now that's dramatic irony, though. They don't know that. Zephyr knows that. It's sadly just a rough situation. For Ottawa, we've seen their success, and now against the likes of KSU Gold, they're going to see if they can continue to channel it. Reef with a knock-on wreck and misplays down leaves just Aegis left alive, running for the hills here towards the southern side of zone. They're going to get those full thirsts off. In KSU Gold, remember, it is Aegis, so they can probably outlast this exchange, maybe take their time. There's that full thirst on Wreck Emporium, and maybe a little bit of scan from Aegis. The nice thing is he is on the Seer. That means whenever he zooms in, he's going to get a little bit of a read on the heartbeats of other players, literally, and he might be able to rat this one out. A Seer rat can be good. RJ, though, is looking. I'm hearing a crypto drone, which tells me that's someone else. Southeastern on the other side. Yep. Southeastern defined. Aegis. KSU Gold. A huge loss on the day. 14th place respectively. And here's Southeastern very quickly being assaulted upon by the Ottawa Braves. RJ proves for his team that he isn't cheating, as those shots don't quite land the way he wants them to. Meanwhile, in the kill feed, Bellevue with a double, with at least a single drop onto Dom 2 Crack. They make a return towards the Fisher side of the fight there, and We don't see any more action, but could potentially lead to something. Quick teleport from Juxi on the edge of zone, and a full thirst on that drone will give them the safety and privacy they not. Meanwhile, he doesn't quite deliver, and I can't believe Vatari is committing from the back when he has only one piece of health there. It's a full commit, and Sloth deleted, leaves just Serial Cat somewhere. Now, Serial Cat can 2v1. He has the capacity. Drone will give him away, but a break just as quickly will make this a hard survival for Fisher. Teleports through the rocks and back up onto height. Tamu Maroon coming up here, though. They want to punish what they've heard. A quick Sparrow ultimate as Serial Cat has gotten involved from the other edge. He's going to be playing down below, and Bellevue are sniping this out. Meanwhile, Swifty from the backside. A PK shot sends Fisher packing in 13th place. It's a huge loss for the Fisher roster. Their aggression comes back to bite them, and now Tamu committing to what remains of Bellevue here. Muffins is down to the edge of ring by Sloth, and Tamu knows they want to prioritize getting to zone. They can commit to this a little bit longer. They can force Bellevue down through the other side here. And this will clear out their back and make sure that they have a very confident place in this building. I think that's what Bellevue is forced to do. Waffles, that was, by the way, I just read that. Terrible idea. You can see up there on the map for half a second that Bellevue is rotating towards the western side. They're going to have to go towards Lagoon and through the cave to get into Launchpad. Doesn't mean they're done. They can always reset here, but West Virginia Wesleyan are on the responsive end. You can hear the sounds. You can hear the run from a Wraith. It's just a single one at that. Down into the tip of Launchpad will survive. Still, it is rough. One bad angle, and that'll be it for Bellevue. We take a look at zone here. Tamu Maroon up north, but KSU Black and the University of Utah, again, down south in that building you can see from Tamu's perspective. University of Utah, an excellent read today on where they need to play these zones at. Their macro and their decision-making has been so good. University of Calgary, not the same. FBSA, they're going to be full thirsted. We saw their rough start getting out of Devastated Coast. And, well, doesn't look like they'll last much longer. West Virginia Wesleyan slowly trying to work their way into Launchpad here. Half of them holding out Tamu, the other half looking for they want to play next. You can see SJSU still a place in zone from height. They won't have to move. Ooh, Schmubby. Kraber in hand, the Schmubster. The Schmubba-wubba-dub-dub. Ooh, revives on the very, very edge. That could be Bellevue. There's a chunk of damage out there on the edge, and we have to wonder, it is Bellevue. Do you know where the servers are hosted? I'm pretty sure they're central, but don't quote me on that. All right. Void with a knock on Eva Havel. Elixirs to follow through, and the KSU Black roster does a great job defending against Temple Cherry. Meanwhile, Schmub with the Kraber. Wide for the first shot. Another swing and a miss. Batter. Everyone is hiding out and away, and now shot from the other angle from Tamu Maroon. Schmub doesn't get the chance to do much more than that. Bellevue are allowed to reset. They are allowed to play on the center side of zone. Still in it. Drop him, expel him. No. Give him time. All right. Bell University have survived, but remember, their resets are tight. They don't have a lot to work with here. They're still looting this one out. Even still, Juxi with a knock onto Tharquisha from Purdue Black. Might lead to many more full thirsts at that. University of Utah committing here to a chunk of damage, and they've got a wonderful spot in zone. By the way, chat, who gets eliminated gets expelled. I like that. Bottom 20 expulsion. Tamu Maroon fighting for the edge of zone to work with here. They've got to plan forward. They've got to work with something else. They only have West Virginia Wesleyan on their side, and they can take up a little more of zone. West Virginia are playing with the edge. Here we go. SJSU Blue, we tune back in with Schmub, and here comes the port play all the way down below. They're going to see if they can get involved in the action. That port's not for long, but Schmub from height is clearing out the side of these fights here. Full commit from Nikosu as well to the low ground is Tamu trading for trade on Ottawa and West Virginia Wesleyan here. We're going to jump to West Virginia. They've just gotten the reset up. Mobile shield down in the red room. There's the shot from the back. Texas A&M Maroon with another knock. Ty and Drake will go down as well. And it's just one final member, Mastiff for Mastiff. Tamu pushes themselves into the top 6. Bellevue up above, playing the heart of building here now, tied for tail against University of Utah, who has a great position. They're still in zone moving forward. No one else is, and for Texas A&M now, another knock onto Southeastern Avery. Nabber with that initial cry, and Tamu's going to start looking up on height here. They have to be careful. Ottawa plays down below, and Bellevue are on this roof here. There we go. Southeastern Avery, a re-knock from Utah, and Bellevue now peeking on the outskirts. We're jumping over to Utah. They've got a great choke on the rest of these teams here. But shit, their shots need to count, man. You've got to land some of these if you're going to punish them from getting any closer to you. 36 seconds to go on zone close. Tamu have opted to play the low ground here. Bellevue is still up above them on the height of building. It is not a good angle for them. If Bellevue get a crack, they are going to full send this. Repeat smokes on the University of Utah to prevent them from getting shots on the rest of the lobby. Juxi has committed the port down below, and the Rolling Thunder turns them to commit onto another team out towards the side. Meanwhile, that's got to be a rat sneaking away somewhere. Whoever it is, Viking Cap will be eliminated. There's a knock drop elimination onto Southeastern. Schmub gets a wipe onto Muffins, and it's a trade for trade of SJSU and Bellevue here. 2 for 2 for San Jose and Bellevue. Couple of nade stacks, and Bellevue opts to commit for height. Peeks over the edge before the revive comes through. Shrub eliminated. Viking Cap done and dusted. Utah turned their attention into the choke line, and we are down to our top 4 remaining. Utah on height. Bellevue across. Tamu in the first 4 below the University of Utah. And a single rat from the Ottawa Braves playing the southern side of zone here. Tamu starting to peek out over to the edge. Chunk of damage and a full commit. You have to wonder if Ottawa are going for the revives or they're just using the Moby. Trying to peek through the edge of zone there. Doesn't look like it. Vatari will get that full wipe, and we're down to our final top 3. Utah as a 3 on the roof. Tamu down below, and Bellevue on the outside. Who coaches Utah? I'm a big fan of their macro ability. I don't know. We'll have to ask them. I don't think they have a coach. Oh, there you go, Mez. They're not the coach. All right, Bellevue University, last-minute revive on Muffins. The port play just towards the edge of zone to play underneath the building. This will give them their safety as they try to rotate in. Meanwhile, massive damage and a knock onto Pair from the side of zone. The wall will force them back for now. Revive being committed. Pair should be able to get up here. Bellevue teleporting port for port as Juxi looks low. Meanwhile, Utah extending towards the other side of zone to play on this rock. Bellevue stacked on top of Texas A&M now. Utah might have just given themselves the survivability to commit here. Meanwhile, I mean, pin for pin, Bellevue, they're going to try to survive a little bit longer. There's that final zip for Utah. Edge of zone with the Newcastle wall. They're going to choke out Tamu on the edge of this door here. Finally out from the corner. I mean, they only have seconds to go, and Tamu likely will get eliminated here. They don't have anywhere to play. A full commit, a teleport behind the edge. Bellevue were waiting. They're more than ready. Port further forward there, and it's going to be a full wipe. All of Bellevue is up. Utah on the 3v3 now. Port plays in a knock on the Muffins. Juxi and Vatari with nowhere to go. One full crack. Mez for the full send here. A final knock left on the castle wall, and Utah will do it again! Back-to-back dubs for the University of Utah on Storm Point today. Mez, Narwhal Boy, and Mobius were absolutely perfect, from playing in the building to the edge of that zone to making the absolute decision to take the zip line and utilize the Newcastle wall to prevent them from being stacked up on top of Texas A&M Maroon. They absolutely obliterated these rosters. Who's Utah's IGL? Think it's Mez. All right, let's take a look at the scoreboard while we've got the time. Real quick, we had to ask the prediction for this game. Was Utah able to surpass 7 KP? I'm pretty sure the answer is yes. Oh my gosh, but not by much. They literally got 7 KP. My apologies. 7 there for the University of Utah. Congratulations to the over. What's more surprising is that Bellevue University gets away with murder. 20 KP, 10 for Juxi, 9 for Vodry, 700 damage, and 1 for Muffins. Don't know about that one. Anyways, 29 points for Bellevue. They might not have won that game, but they survived. They got their way into second place for 9 points, and their 20 KP alongside them thrusts them through the leaderboard there. It's a massive response. 19 for Utah with their 7. 11 tied for 11 with the Ottawa Braves and Tamu Maroon all the way in the top 3. We'll take a look at our overall leaderboard. Utah with their double wins, though, still lead the pack. 45 on the way. 38, 7 points behind the likes of Bellevue University. This is not hard to eclipse. This is not hard to assume an advantage to work with. Fisher Esports, their placement will be the bane of them. Scrims are different. You are allowed to get away with a lot of poor macro plays by yourself. Doesn't mean you can't have a banger of a game. It just means occasionally you'll walk away with a 7. Only a chunk. How many kills did they get? Only 6 KP and 1 placement point for Fisher. Aggression can be good, but it can bite you in the butt. University of Calgary there. A little bit of a dinger, only 1 point for 4th. Ottawa Braves, 11-6. They keep themselves competitive in the top 5. And Tamu Maroon, they jump 8 slots into 6. Shout out to Southeastern and SJSU Blue. Didn't look very healthy in their final fight there, but they survived. And they get into the top 10. Remember, we're competing for point on point in the overall scoreboard today. We'll finally say goodbye to Newcastle. So much of the safety for these teams is now being removed here. No Newcastle means one of the best resetting legends and the best setup legends will no longer be available. You still have your other controls like Watson, the Catalyst, and the Rampart that we've seen some favor for. But the reality is, other than like the Bang Smoke, Defensive Sparrow Ultimate, there's not a lot on the line here for these teams to work with. All right, let's get into game. We're going to be making our move over to E District. Second. Hold on. You didn't see that. All right. Let's just really quick on the drops. Here we go. 2 seconds. Where are they? Well, I mean, this is my first time looking at them. Okay. Fisher's out in Stadium next to the slums with Tamu Maroon. That could be a point of aggression. Heights for the University of Utah. A little bit far from zone, but they've showcased that they can actually deliver and get to wherever when it comes to macro. Of course, for the likes of Ottawa, up towards Dam, high point there. Bellevue out towards Blossom, another kind of edge of zone. Street Market for UFC next to SJSU Blue. We'll see if they maybe go for any kind of con there. E-Bank, big one held by West Virginia Wesleyan. Priority for the lower-oriented team. And Gamerhawks Navy for Lotus. These are some big POIs. KSU Gold, by the way, City Hall. Tonti says they haven't had their beer today. Misplays, if you can hear me. You got to get to your 8-pack, brother. All right. Here we go. We are officially into our Game 3. There are still 4 games on the board, but I remind y'all, the overall standings are crucial here today. All right. Where's my Gamba? Oh, my gosh. Start prediction. We're going to do it again. Over, under, Utah, 7 KP. My apologies. Over, under. You guys get 2 minutes to do that. Over, under. Get your predictions in. 7 KP for the University of Utah. They barely got to the line last time around there. So, congratulations to whoever came out on top of that one. I wasn't able to quite see. Looks like it was... All right. Long-range point-blank knock for Juxi on Bellevue University. They may not have much shielding to their name, but they're already finding some aggression, some success, some moves here. They make their way out of Blossom incredibly fast. And, I mean, that's my worry with a lot of these teams. My Bellevues, my Bellevues, my Fishers. They just move. Now, Trauma was not revived, and, well, I think Purdue Black's doing the smart thing here. Tharquisha already running for the edge. They get the Evo. They get the walk onto Yaki. And for Bellevue, they are proving that their slump last week, their 17th finish, because they had 2 subs, but their 17th finish, as disgusting as it was, can always be, you know, Words.
Med kit here. They
I'm
help,
being
to
stupid.
say the least. Let's go this way.
That's it for Trauma. Trauma lives up to his name. That's PTSD if I've ever seen it. Point blank, bullet to the skull.
Enemy spotted.
All right. Full read of zone as of yet. Not much really to work on. Height of what to understand. Temple Cherry. Maybe not the strongest of performance yet. Hey! Nothing Noble. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. I appreciate anyone who follows. Quick Evo read for Temple. They don't quite need it. Shot in their backside there. Dash will get broken. It is Augusta Esports. Meanwhile, Sloth from Fisher. Again, the man himself, so aggressive. Fisher, they don't even have blue armor, and they're already finding what feels like the entirety of Southeastern. Zyson.
Choose an upgrade.
Or Zychen. Either one. Zyson, Zychen. Good follow. Final member of Southeastern here. Not much further to go. A little bit of a wall bounce leads perfectly into the sight lines here of Dom or Sloth. That's the wipe. That's our 19 squads remaining. Meanwhile, center heart of zone. We talked about West Virginia Wesleyan. They're going to give them a chance to recover. A little bit of attention in the kill feed there. Utah with a knock onto double Dancel against UT White here. Commit into the corner. That's a drop for Narwhal Boy, and they're asking, where's the rest of the team? Shot out. Mez almost goes down, but it's the drill that delivers the blow. Ottawa here gets a critical knock on our leaders of the lobby. Utah have survived. UT White, maybe not. Well, actually, UT White. Nicholas on his way out.
Go here. Captain.
Great cast, Wordle King. Amen. I love me some Wordle. I love Wordle. You guys have no idea. I play on hard mode. I have to use the letters that have... I never guess additional letters. I play with the letters that are left standing. That's called hard mode, apparently. All right, anyways, Fisher Esports here. Scan out towards the edge. Dom 2 cracked. Let's see if they've already got the read on where a couple of teams are. There we go. Another scan lets them know that West Virginia Wesleyan, not especially the team, but the team is nearby if they want to go for the full send. Meanwhile, Augusta here, playing for height. An Evil Howl in the kill feed. A knock onto SJSU. It's a nice, at least, response for Temple Cherry, but the distance doesn't mean much. You're not going to really be able to close the gap here and get on top of SJSU. So SJSU allowed to reset here between the action. We jump on over to CSU Fullerton. I mean, they've got West Virginia Wesleyan on one side, Fisher on the other. A catalyst wall goes down, and they've got the chance to full commit if they want to. Bellevue finishes their fight against the University of Houston, and now for CSU, I mean, they're on their way out. Fisher will get this full thirst, and Fullerton's already doing the smart thing and separating themselves from the action. They don't want any further of the pie. Fisher might take their time, might commit to zone. We can only guess and see. West Virginia Wesleyan, though, from this high ground position, they're going to let themselves stand for now. Looks like there was a knock onto Indiana University, Pennsylvania, who are still playing as a duo. Ottawa not far away, but just Cloaked find this. Gets that full thirst onto Ever. Don't know if they'll find the remaining member. Rat away, rat away. Seer, not quite up to play.
Survey beacon over there.
All this screaming is making me sniffly. All right. Purdue Black, by the way, they did get their reset from what we saw earlier. Trauma, Tharquisha, everyone is back up in full force, so it was a really good decision by them to just walk away from Bellevue. All right? Sometimes you don't have to fight this out. I like the survivability. I like just the attempt to make your game last. Tamu Maroon, we saw a great response from them all the way into the top 3 last game. Maybe not like KP, but hopefully a transition into zone. We'll see how it goes. Temple Cherry now up above Dash. A remnant of success for so many rosters in the past of Octane Collegiate now. With a beam and a half. Simplicity. They have to take the time to get a reset of their own. The Gibraltar made for a trade and a Gibby bubble there to get themselves back up into play and should be fine. Remember, crossing the distance hard enough as is currently in our slots. And, I mean, the minute you go for a full 3v3 against any one of these teams, you're just going to be third-partied. SJSU Blue, one of those squads that are still very so far away. And in the kill feed, Dom 2 cracked, a knock on a Mez, a response for Serial Cats onto Narwhal Boy, and we're remaining one final member here. Mobius for Utah. Fisher committing out towards the side to look for what will be, and shit, that is rough. University of Utah, the leaders of the lobby, the double winners of Storm Point, done in 18th. No 7 KP for them there. We'll settle the prediction at the end. Gamerhawks Navy, we'll tune in. This time around, they don't even have the full roster anyways. Mystical Maverick and crew. Meanwhile, Ottawa taking their time. Cloaked is low here, but a beautiful beam and a half on Mystical Maverick sends them packing. And for the Gamerhawks Navy, especially against a team like Ottawa, I mean, are you going to survive 2v3? The answer, in most circumstances, is no. Sorry, sucks to suck, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles. West Virginia here. Edge of the Northeast. They make their way in from the side of zone. Tamu Maroon is looking at them. A couple of fused knuckle clusters lets me know that there's a fuse in the game. Meanwhile, Texas A&M has to be careful. They can get rotated on their backside. Pair. IGL now of Tamu Maroon calling for this extensive rotate. Swifty is still low. CSU Fullerton will get this knock. This is that third-party issue, and they'll shoot for the smoke to see if they can find Nabber as well, but instead, it's response of success here. Fullerton back up to height. They can't fully commit, but they did get that entire knock onto Swifty. Tamu Maroon will play for safety towards southern side, and see how it goes. Meanwhile, it's KSU on KSU violence. Aegis with a knock onto Void sends KSU Black packing, and for Fisher Esports, we don't see the end of it. But Texas A&M Maroon runs right into their open and waiting arms. 2 KP for them puts them up to a massive 5+ already in our top 14 remaining. I apologize, Grap, and you're Poopy and Mez. Thank you for contributing your point total here. Let's try to get as many of those community points as possible. I want to run such an incredible tournament, and all I'm asking from y'all is your viewership and your channel points. That's all I'm asking. Your undivided attention support. We'll jump on over to Bellevue. I say undivided. That would not describe how they fire. Purely a beam with nowhere to go but the heart of your opponent. Juxi will lead forward here for a simple knock of a PK. On to Evil Howl. Meanwhile, battery extended for a revive. A point blank 1v1 says, see ya. To Dash in the Temple roster. Meanwhile, Ottawa Braves, just one member from RJ here. Committing for success. They don't have the full 3 members, or else this would have been an easy knock. A full thirst onto Bellevue University. They're very, very split, though, for Bellevue. But as we've seen anything from these last 2 games, Bellevue gets away with murder. They're allowed to persist far longer than anyone gives them credit. We'll jump on over to Fisher here. It's a knock for double knocks. Dom 2 cracked, eliminated 1 remaining member of West Virginia Wesleyan. There goes Yaduke, and a commit on the revive. Oh, accidentally changes guns there, but you know. West Virginia, props where it's due. Dean PS actually survives. The man continues to live. A single remaining member, now smelled by UT White. A stinky smell of the stinkiest. Nicholas on his way in, might be finding this one. Meanwhile, for the Ottawa Braves, we saw them try to commit on to Bellevue. Didn't quite get the thirst they want. Now going to look for the edge of zone towards SJSU, Bellevue, and Calgary. Out towards the east, Fisher, UT White, Augusta, Purdue Black. That's going to come to a full collapse. The nice thing about E-District, though, guys, is you have so many buildings to play into, so many places of survivability. It's really not that bad, right? I mean, you can compete for space not just in a differing building, but on separate floors here. And especially if your team right now is working with a Watson, a Gibraltar, well, really just a Watson. I'd say a Watson, a Catalyst, right? A Rampart sometimes. You should be able to defend that. Bellevue's Juxi, by the way, in the KO feed. We miss it for half a second. That's a drop onto San Jose State University. And that'll be a wipe into the top 12 here. KSU Gold. We gotta wonder if Misplays is drinking today. Not because they're failing, but because the man's probably not drinking enough for success. Couple of long-range shots with the 30-30, and for KSU, they hold out the edge of zone here. Misplaced anchoring as Ottawa now, as we pop on over to the western side, trying to wrap likely what we saw out of Bellevue. We remember their position from moments ago. We saw their full thirst onto SJSU, and I'm only questioning if Ottawa will commit all the side. That's the drill on the other end, and that'll be it for Akatibia. This is not Bellevue. Separate team entirely here. Full commits and a Maggie ball goes wide with nowhere to go. It's just a single burn of the R99 to send out Crimson Monkey. Ottawa Braves, one by one, splitting the rest of the CSU Fullerton roster. Down below, hiding in the bridge. We'll see if Fullerton can wrap for the end now. Augusta, we talked about them all the way over towards the east. Teams like Fisher, just alongside them here. Fisher will full send if they get a crack. If Fisher gets a crack, you're done. You are their next target. Anyways, a couple quick checkups on quite a few squads here in the lobby. 12 teams remaining before we break into our round 5. We take a look at that next zone. It really only has the pieces of the edge alive here. Jumping on over to KSU, a massive choke of the tension out above here, out through the sky. They won't get the full thirst they want here, but they will defend their position on the edge of bridge. Point blank, G7 Scout sends double Dancel down to the ground. UT White not looking much better as Augusta eliminated by Fisher, like I said. KSU kind of extending out from their bridge here. They maybe want these full commits. Now Ottawa to the low ground. All the same, they will chase out what I can only assume is the remainder of UT White here. Out, down, through the ropes, teleport through the side, and we're playing Ring Around Rosie. It's not enough to survive, and I was wrong. That's West Virginia Wesleyan. UT White survives out towards the east. Ottawa up north here. Fisher pushing in from the southeast. We got enough. Spectate Utah? Sorry, brother. They died in 18th. I would if we had. No, shut up. You got me. You got me. Very funny, Matt Stenke. All right. University of Houston here, playing for defense. I can't believe Gerald doesn't go down. Instead, it's Jake with a massive Kraber knock onto Juxi. Response onto Gerald as Vatari proves why he can be one of the best. Muffins is somewhere, single man on the drone. He uses a bullet to get rid of a drone, and maybe he commits to a revive. Looking for the edge of 16 here. Vatari will bleed out. Bellevue does get the response onto Juxi. That's a place of recoveries. We say goodbye to Thigh as well. Ottawa Braves here now, choking out what I can only assume is the likes of Fisher. There's the knock on. No! KSU Gold. Beam and a half and a drill as wed. Peek around the other side. RJ with a full knock again. And they are picking apart so many of these rosters. Meanwhile, Bellevue right alongside Bobby Acheen from IUP Crimson. And I'll tell you what, it literally never stops when we talk about aggression. Fisher on the bridge, Ottawa across, down below Bellevue. And 3 other teams, Ottawa, KSU Gold as a rat, and Purdue Black out towards the west. Now, Aegis has at least one banner here. Quick scan and recovery will get misplaced back in the fight. Bellevue could commit to this building. I mean, a revive is like waving a white flag in the air here. CSUF Fullerton playing as a rat down below. Meanwhile, Bellevue taking their time to peek this one out. 150. See if we've got any more in the chamber. A Sparrow ultimate will delay for now, but BU, the battery boy, taking his time to go for these flank angles into the drone and out for the chase here. We'll say goodbye to Juxi as it's a long knock range drop from Purdue's Walkie. Still success for Purdue. The Spitfire finally lands what they want against Trauma. It's just one remaining member of Purdue as the revive is sustained. Shot from the back. Vatari for double knocks into our top 5 here. KSU's a duo. Fullerton as a single. Ottawa on the outskirts, and he's missed the PK shot. And EMP sends them back towards the edge of bridge. And Ottawa are burning tick after tick. Dom 2 cracked with 1. Fisher committing lower to see if they can finish off the fight. Here's the full read and the drill on the other side. Dance, dash, dip, and dive. Bellevue now on the low ground, sending the rest of the lobby out to pack. Fisher just have to start extending a couple of extra shots. There goes Ottawa. And we are down to some of our final teams remaining. KSU on building, Fisher on bridge, and Bellevue on the low ground. All right. Here's the thing. Fisher will be forced to make a rotate. The question is, they don't know how many teams are left. I mean, they know how many teams are left in the lobby. They don't know how many players. I don't know if anyone knows that KSU is a duo. They might not fully commit to this building because they feel the pressure of a full trio, but, I mean, that's information games. We'll see how that goes. Bellevue playing for as tight of a space as they can contest here. One thing to note is that you can play multiple floors on this building. Misplays is still alive, Taunty. All right. Point blank range from up above, and there's Muffins getting shot out. Drill to boot. Goes wide for some reason. I can't believe it's missing him. Muffins is allowed to survive. If you have a crypto, surely they know it's a duo. Depends if Muffins looked at it. We don't know, Poopy. We'll see how it goes. Plus, every time they might throw the drone out, Fisher's right here on the bridge deleting it. They totally can do that. Anyways, full attention on KSU from 2 here. Bellevue, like I said, have committed to the low ground. KSU up on high here. Everyone taking their time. The bridge with only seconds to go. Not a lot longer left on the bridge. Will force a full commit from Fisher at some point here. Question is, does the building last longer or does the bridge? It's going to be tight. They're basically going to go at roughly the same time. I think Fisher's going to drop and play the outskirt of zone here and just try to choke out Bellevue and KSU on their exit. But, well, aggression has never looked better. Fisher already down to the low ground. You can tell Bellevue's been playing exterior just as much here. A knock on the Vattery doesn't bode well. Meanwhile, KSU, little seconds ago, double drills on the board as he sings down from above. One final battery means nothing here. KSU deleted, and it's Fisher versus Bellevue. Domed, already done and dusted. Everyone's back up. It's a numbers advantage. Out towards the edge of zone. The PK shots can't miss right now. Muffins doesn't deliver. It's up to the remnants here. One final chunk of Bellevue. Full flesh for Sloth and Serial Cat. A quick thirst puts Serial Cat back into health. And I can't believe I'm saying this. It's the first dub for the new Fisher Esports roster. All right. We're already in game in the other lobby, so let's make this quick here. Standings, game 3. First things first, predictions. I asked over under 7 KP. The majority of you were on the money. Only 2 KP. Congratulations. It's a big dub for the likes of Fisher. 20 kills there. 32. And the only thing crazier is the fact that Bellevue walk away with more points. 26 on the board, and a second place finish makes up the difference. 35 points. Look at the damage differential. 3,500 for Juxi, 3,800 for Vattery. The closest is Sloth here on Fisher at 3,300. I mean, Muffins, 801 KP. Either way, Bellevue are still in the driver's seat. Ottawa Braves not far behind with 14 KP themselves. As a result, look at the rest of the lobby, y'all. No KP. Nothing. No one walks away with just about anything. It is entirely placement oriented. It's a total combined result of 60 KP from these teams. Insane. 60 KP. Brutal. That is a combined 20 team KP. The rest of these, by the way, it's a mixture of revives. There we go. Overall standings, Bellevue still in the lead here. Or no, Bellevue jump into the lead. Oh my God, Fisher and Bellevue both on this overall jump into the lead. 73 for Bellevue. Fisher now with 57, and they are defining themselves as the lobby leaders. Utah going down all the way in 18th with only 2 points. Comes back to bite them so aggressively here. We'll have to see how this goes. Ottawa Braves, 36. University of Calgary, 20. There's gold on the edge with 17. Tamu Maroon, I mean, we're talking about nothing right now. Nothing for all of these. Massive nothing. Yeah, Matt Stanky, you missed out on some glory. Now, let's get that prediction out there. 26 KP for Bellevue, 20, and then 6. Guys, I'm going to do it. Let's go over under 10 KP for Bellevue this game. Over under 10 KP. Over under Bellevue. And I'm going to give you guys a little bit longer here. 5 minutes on the board. Over under 10 KP for the likes of Bellevue University. We'll have to see how it goes. Get your bets in. Get your predictions. Deliver where it does and does dusted. Bellevue, Fisher, Utah. You have to wonder who's on the bottom of the board that we're really looking for. And the truth to be told is there's not much to say, guys. When you have 47, 57, and 73 in 3 games, the lobby is just a wash, an overall wash. I'm going to post the scoreboard in chat and pin it here for y'all so you don't have to type now. There you guys go. We're not too tightly in the middle of zone, so very quickly, we're going to jump on over to the other matches. Since it is the halfway point, let's take a look at B versus D. This is the other lobby that's going on right now. They have not had all 3 of their games finish. Illini Orange, 26 points. Minnesota State Mavericks, massive returns for them. They did have a blemish, a 2-point game in their first game, but hey, 20 points in a dub is still a big win. I like seeing it. Western Outlaw is a big name. FSU Garnet. Here's the shocker. Cumberland University, Slasher, Maple, and Zach W. Keys in 6th place after 2 games. Now, if you guys remember last time, I got on Cumberland and I said, man, what are we doing? And then they delivered an insane, destructive lead going into the last 4 games. So all we can do is wait and see. Try and see if there's any big ones on the bottom of the leaderboard that are kind of messing up right now. ISU Farmers, 16th. Shit, man. I only wish for the best of success with this roster. Florida's kind of having a rough one. Southern Miss in 8th with 16's Russ, but yeah. I mean, there's time. This is still just game 2. They have not finished their game 3 yet, so we'll see how it goes. All right, get your predictions in. We got 3 minutes remaining. The over is currently leading for 10 KP Bellevue. Can you believe that? The over. You guys are predicting, 84% of you are predicting that Bellevue will get more than 10 KP going into the next game of E-District. That's insane. All right. Let's make sure. A versus C. Very, very cool. Very cool. All right. Let's get back into the end game here. Can't believe we're missing it. The zone hasn't even started closing yet. Temple Cherry versus Southeastern. And, geez, guys, we are already in the heat of a finality of a fight. Surprisingly, it is Southeastern who is winning it against Temple Cherry here. I have high expectations for this roster, and they're dropping the ball right off the board. Evil Howl, the last remaining member alive with just 2 chunks left alive. Southeastern will get the reset. Temple Cherry will likely be able to go recover here. I can't see if they have a crafter, but should be able to do so. All right. 19 squads left standing. University of Houston, I can't imagine they're going to get into anything sometime soon. Meanwhile, Texas A&M, a quick havoc from afar on to allow here, and see how it goes. Meanwhile, Bellevue, a win from their last game, and the majority of this lobby, I'm giving you guys some extra credence here. We've got a minute and 20 seconds till the prediction closes. You're going to get a little bit of a leak of knowledge here. Bellevue might get these KP, and they're 3 points closer to over 10, so get your predictions in. And don't forget, 500,000 for the points for our community tournament. That's all I'm asking. No money, no subs, just 500,000 community points. Big dubs for Tamu as they get a couple of extra full thirst. That's it for Crimson Monkey, and CSUF Fullerton are now down 2 members. A ping a distance away, and we might see them potentially commit here, but they are taking their time. Don't know if we'll get much more than that from them. Yeah, there's a big separation between them and the rest of this lobby. The Ottawa Braves, even without Cheater Mav, are definitely looking fairly good with the replacement for Reap. Reap had been a player for Ottawa, and so we'll see how that goes. Bellevue's Muffins with a knock from afar onto Toasted Grilled. The reason I don't see them full sending for anything is likely because this is City Hall, or, I mean, Neon City. Neon Square? Either way, these places are not memorable enough for me to remember their names. Neon Square, probably. Either way, they're probably too far away to actually capitalize on a full thirst here. Let's jump on over to the Ottawa Braves. Last time we looked at them, they were trying to get into this building, and for now, it's going to be a massive delivery from Cloak. Point blank, and UT White will be done in 19 points. El Cocho, thank you for the points. Now we jump on over to Southeastern. They lead it early, and my beautiful face will block their final moments. The horror, the litany. My gosh, we'll cry. Thank you, Flip. KSU Black, all the same here now. This is a roster that I usually have high praise for, but today looks like they're already going to be done. Now, SJSU Blue is definitely a roster that can take it to them, but it has been such a rough start for KSU Black. They've lost a little bit of control, and an EVA will protect them for now, but the full commit from the rest of these lobbies means somehow, some way, KSU Black have a... Guys, shut up! KSU Black dies. God damn it. All right, KSU Black eliminated Bellevue University. We jump on over to what looks like their own portion of success. Everyone in the lobbies fighting for fighting. You can hear KSU Gold on the other side committing for University of Houston. And here's the third party from Bellevue. A quick scan, a quick smoke, a chase away. Point blank and a wall bounce doesn't result in much, but Vattery will beam from afar. KSU Gold takes us now down to our 14 teams remaining. You talk about acceleration. I talk about the heat of aggression here for these squads on E-District. The majority are playing into Neon Square, but man, oh man, they're also going to just absolutely burn through these weaker rosters. West Virginia Wesleyan, not super far away. Shit, but you might as well be as far as hay. Horseshoes, hand grenades, and hurricanes when it comes to missing here. Vattery ain't one of them. Point blank, and now a quick incendiary grenade to burn this one out. Rotates through the other side to dissuade what might be the attention on the zip line. EMP committed from Muffins, and it is a massive crack of the nades and a half. Vattery just waiting for them to line up, but from the other side, Dean PS gets a quick burn on the 99. It's a full commit. No, instead, it's now the remnants of Ottawa Braves third partying just as quickly. Dean PS will go down. West Virginia will only walk away with the 1 KP, and our question yet remains, where is Bellevue? We saw Vattery go down. Vattery's being committed on a revive, and I don't know why you would commit for a fight at all in the middle of it. Jukesy low, a drone from Muffins, and Bellevue have gotten out of it. Meanwhile, Texas A&M Maroon dead in 12th place. I can only assume at the hands of Fisher Esports. I love watching nonstop inting. Yeah, man. Lobby. I should do, honestly, guys, I should shift the bets to KP guessing because I think that's too easy. We should just do lobby quality guessing. And then we'll just lower it to like 1 or 2. All right. Augusta Esports here, up above on high, Bellevue down below. If you're worried for Augusta at this point, if you feel a sense of fear, don't worry. That just means you are sane. POI with the most penalties with the least amount of teams alive? Yeah. Some of these teams ain't feeling it. If only it could be people that played like Skyhook zones. I don't know how much of it's E-District and how much of it is just these teams are committing to getting more aggressive because there's less on the line for the day. Which is crazy because this is just game 4 of 6. 4, 5, and 6 can literally turn your entire lobby around. And don't get me wrong, competing for 19th, I mean versus 13th does make a difference. I mean, when we talk about the overall standing today, it really will come down to the very last end of it. Now, we'll pop on over to Blossom here. Purdue is in place on height. Not much to say in terms of them committing to a fight. Remember, I talked about Augusta, the sense of fear here. Bellevue has made their way to the low ground of Augusta. They've got, I mean, a commit and a half, but those fences are now down with that EMP, and just as quickly as it comes through, Jukesy gets the chance to peek. The Maggie Ball will find a hit onto Juxi, and a drill will force him away. Vatari committing for a reset of health here as he has to delete a wall of his own. Full reses don't get to come through as it's the perfect timing. A leap, a dash, a dive, and a burn as 360 finds himself deleted in the middle of the sky here. Augusta are picked apart, and the reason Bellevue are allowed to do this is just because there's no one here. There's no one in this POI. Not a single other team has committed. Copper Hue, VOD is him. VOD is Himothy. VOD is the himster. VOD is as him as it gets. But I'll tell you what, he's got a rival. And it's not Dom 2 Crap, it's Sloth. Even still, massive chunks of damage as Sloth finds response on the FBSA. Their Carversters down. And while Serial Cat is at least eliminated, we're just watching for the Sloth show. Dom's gonna heal this up. There's a quick read. Peek outside the door, 58 on the heady. Dom will go down, but Sloth is the massive cleanup crew. I'm telling you, Cooper Hugh, you may not know Sloth's name, learn it, all right? Fisher Esports versus Bellevue. This is gonna be the competition and a half for the Collegiate Series this year. Even still, Vatari makes that leap look like Kovacs! A quick switch with the Kraber, and it is deletion for Utah University. We asked them to catch up, and instead, it is a point-blank success. Meanwhile, Ottawa Braves, they saw their third place finish last game, now are just trying to climb the height here. Reap is ticking down on the edge of zone. There's the full commit onto the Wraith on the low ground, and Cloaked will chase this one out here. Keeping track of this one all the way on high. And, oh man. There we go. Ottawa Braves will find Purdue. That will be them choked out here. Let's jump on over to Bellevue University because they are playing Gatekeeper. You see on the edge of zone, and man, he makes the 99 look like aimbot. Literally, blink and you'll miss it. No recoil, just point blank. Is Sloth roller? I don't support roller players. It's against my religion. OI is Sloth roller.
I see one.
Woo! Yeah? Well, there you go. Point blank. Kraber shots for the hip fire. Vatari. Jesus. He makes Temple Cherry look like a rotten fruit at that. Couple of extra shots. Won't quite find that final remaining member, but they've done the damage. Stinky roller player. Hey! Hey! That's my boy Sloth! You gotta love him a little bit. Alright? Just a little bit. In fairness though, M&K beaming that hard's kind of, yeah. We all like it. Alright. 7 squads remaining, and it is as bad as it gets for the play quality of this game. University of Hawaii have survived, not by choice, but by the grace of God. Bellevue is towards their east, and that is worrisome. Now, if I'm confused, it looks like Fisher had lost most of the members of their team. Maybe wrong, might be a map glitch. Point blank, Vatari and Bellevue moving into University of Hawaii here. Trying to extend a couple of beams, but the smoke makes this hard. Meanwhile, Thai Moonshake moving towards the edge of zone. Quick port up to height lines, and this is a pretty good spot for them to work with. You could see how Bellevue were trying to commit up the stairwell. We'll have to see how it goes here, because they are there. Quick switch to the 99 for Juxi as we tune in with him, and Thai will get the response. Beam and a half. Very nice lead there from the Sparrow Ultimate. The Ottawa Braves now coming to third party. Say goodbye to the University of Hawaii just as quickly here. You have to question, does Bellevue get the reset? Meanwhile, Temple Cherry taking their time. Dash with the escape. Gets a full revive for their squad. Fisher Esports, by the way, more healthy than I had expected. I think it was a map glitch. There are all 3 members left standing, slowly working their way into zone. Building by building, door by door. Shot from the back there. Dom 2 Crack could have gone down, but you've got to hit the shots. Sloth with a long-range knock, and for Temple Cherry, what is a quick revive might be an instant end for the Temple Cherry roster. Here's the problem now. We are so close, all of these teams. Any kind of action might lead to a fight almost immediately. Welcome back, Bulldog Kush. Good to see you, my brother. Bellevue University here. I mean, they are chasing this one out. Step on step. I can't even tell you who this is because it feels like every single team is just trying to pick up as much KP as possible here where it counts. Doesn't feel like they're even playing in position. The phase might be available, but the reality is it's just Dash with nowhere to go. Temple Cherry, 1 remaining member. Fisher, all 3 down south. Ottawa, all 3 out west. Single rats for Temple Cherry up north. Bellevue towards the east. I mean, we still have the height of the lobby here. Fisher, Bellevue, Ottawa, all still in play. Bellevue University finds Dom too cracked, and I've spoken too soon. This could potentially be the end of Fisher sooner than we thought. All right. Sloth quickly peeked out by Vaudry, and for Bellevue University, they might lose out on Juxi, but they're getting thirst that will potentially make their game here. Juxi's able to find a little bit of safety on the interior. Vaudry going to commit for the revive. Personally, I would commit Muffins, given how good he is. Meanwhile, CSUF Fullerton, shot from a distance away here. Man, oh man. All right, Fisher Esports, with the utilization of the drone, a quick revive on the other side. The difference this time is Bellevue, I wouldn't say is stuck, but are on the low ground here. All members of Fisher are going to be able to get back to play on the southern side, and Juxi's going to try to port them out to somewhere much more playable. I mean, they've got the space to do so. Here they are, point blank on the door to also play defense against Fisher here, and everyone else, it's their time to move. I would say it's a really worrisome thing, but because there's only 6 squads remaining, everyone is going to have a place in the zone. Taking their time. Ottawa knows there's a rat. It's IUP, a single member. We don't know where the remaining member of IUP is. I mean, if I was them, I would be as quiet as a mouse. Nowhere in zone here, and for Ottawa, they might be looking at the final remnants of Temple Cherry. Even still, a beam and a half stops them from really getting involved on the final wipes here. They're going to have to take the time to reset, and these kind of shots, this kind of utility, could entice other teams like Bellevue University. Meanwhile, Vaudry with a Graver knock onto Serial Cat. 210 onto Sloth. It is double knock drops, and you know they have to commit to this. Dom too cracked, and an EMP from Muffins leads to the full entry here. We don't know where the revive is, but it's a response of an EMP of their own. Quick heals for Dom too cracked, and he does not get a response. Now they had 1 revive sustained. I don't know if it's on Sloth or on Serial Cat. Either way, Bellevue commit all the same. Temple Cherry deleted by Ottawa. And we're wondering, who is the remaining member of Fisher? Isn't Juxi #1 pred last season? Yes, he is. Sloth, who is the Vaudry. Who it's I should eat that too. The love for Vaudry is crazy. It looks like they do inevitably find the remaining member that was Serial Cat. Ottawa is playing some kind of a port game here. They don't have to make any aggressive moves. We've only got 3 full rosters remaining. Ottawa, Bellevue, and then CSU Fullerton. Now granted, I don't have a lot of high hopes for CSU Fullerton. They are out of their depth here. 1 single remaining rat tells me the revive coming through for Temple Cherry. Point blank with nowhere to go. Bellevue University, everyone committed towards that revive, and you can see that final remaining Wraith in the face of Muffins here. Vaudry potentially on the other side, committing for a port play, will escape as that rat. It's Bobby Achin down to the low ground. Juxi was dropped from Cloak here, and this full commit isn't much of a successful statement for Bellevue. They lose out on Juxi entirely. Bellevue now have to play the remnants of this game as a duo in the top 3. They need a very lucky knock against Ottawa Braves, a quick reset or a revive. I can hear that Moby. I can't see it, but I can hear the Moby down below. All right. CSU Fullerton taking their time. They don't really want to be the one to entice the action here. They're not capable enough to fight this in a strict 3v3. They want to third party the exchange between Ottawa and Bellevue. Now, Juxie's banner has not been recovered. The Moby did come down, but they haven't been able to get the drone to his body. As a result, it is looking more and more like they're going to have to commit as a duo. You see them drop down below, and now you can only hope that CSU Fullerton gets a cheeky knock here onto Ottawa or something of the like. Still, committing for height for as long as possible. There they go. They got the banner. Oh, the drone is still going. Here comes the revive. Ottawa should commit to this. I don't know if that's Reap's Wall, if that's CSUF Fullerton's. I think it's CSUF Fullerton's because of the angle. It's going to give them the chance to reset for now. A couple of Maggie balls just go bouncing nowhere because of the Catalyst Wall. Very silly. Meanwhile, Ottawa with a knock onto Muffins. Bellevue might just be a duo permanently here. There's the wipe on a Crimson Monkey from Bellevue. They've just got to pick up as much KP as possible. Wipes for CSU. Bellevue climbs back into aggression. Full knock drops here, playing behind the knockdowns. Bellevue's Muffins and goes down. It's up to Vattery to pull off the miracle. Looking for the swaps here. A 1v1. Vaude versus Cloak. Drops from height into zone. And Vattery does it. It's a back-to-back. A dub for Bellevue. Oh! A clutch and a half. A clutch and an extension. It's a Bellevue hellish run here. You thought they were done. You thought they couldn't revive. He's just that guy, Waffles. Let's take a look at that scoreboard here because we are already slamming into the next game. Think Vaude might just own the lobby today? Well, let's take a look. Game 4 on the board. 22 kills. A happy 22 kills. 34 points there with their dub. And you asked if he is him, if he is Himothy, if he is the Himster. Vaude with 14 KP, 5,000 damage, 15 downs, 22 headshots, 4 assists, and plenty of others. Stats galore here. Single-handedly is the difference maker for the Bellevue roster. And in the end, picks up the 1v1 where it ultimately counts. Ottawa Braves don't quite get to go the extra distance. As good as they are, Cloak, the leader of that lobby, doesn't extend into the 1v1. Second place, 16 KP there. Fisher, you can see, with 10. Even though they finish in 5th overall, it's their KP that keeps them competitive. CSUF Blue, they're only on their placement. And the rest of the lobby, once again, no KP to go around here. It is still a dwarfing 38 KP between the Ottawa, Fisher, and Bellevue rosters. Muffin's playing on his phone the entire time. Someone has to do it. Hey, there's benefits to the crypto. And you know what? It works for Muffins, and it ain't getting banned. Overall here, 107 for Bellevue. They've eclipsed the triple point status in 4 games, and I mistakenly said it was their secondary dub. Fisher had picked up the win last time around, but man, oh man, can you blame me? Second, first here. Even a little bit of a blemish with a 6th place, but the reality is their placement has been impeccable. Their kills have been an onslaught, 107, and even against the teams that are definitively better, like Ottawa and Fisher, they create a gap of their own. 71, 61, 50 for Utah, who clings on for their spot. And then we have a wide sweeping exchange of teams down here. 25 and lower for the rest of these lobbies. I mean, it's going to come down to the final 2 games. We'll say goodbye to Alter of that game, and now Wraith. Things like the Pathfinder will pop up this game, right? Teams will set themselves up here for an extension utilizing the tactical and the zip line. Catalyst, we saw a lot in that game. Rampart also as well for some of these teams alongside the Watson. Still heavy presence of the Sparrow, who might be our next ban. All right, let's jump on, hopefully, back into game. Actually, because it's the early game, who cares? And I have to do this anyways. Bellevue University, I asked you guys your predictions over under 10 KP Bellevue. For the 70% of you, the 2,800 points who said yes, congratulations. You are correct. There's your Gamba. Let's get another one out there. Once again, we're going to go for Bellevue because of their high KP standing And the truth be told, I'm going to up the advantage. Over, under 13 KP. All right. Bellevue. Over, under 13 KP. I'm going to be a little bit tighter on the time submission this time. You guys got 2 minutes to get it in. Over, under Bellevue. Hey, Fluent. Thank you for the raid. Perfect timing. We're about to just get into Game 5 of Octane Collegiate League's Groups A versus C if you're just joining us. Thank you, Fluent. And I hope you had a great stream. All right. There you go. Over, under, 1 minute, 30 seconds remaining. You guys are already putting in the over almost entirely. 13 KP. That is absurd. I can't believe we are all on the Bellevue is insane train. All right. Here we go. Now, up at the top, you see 19 squads remaining with 56 players. That's because IUP is a duo, and the Gamerhawks Navy have given up. Not much more to say there. Sometimes this shit just sucks, and you are just in a rough place. Point blank, Tamu Maroon trying to hold on to their top 5 finish here today after their awful start last week. Couple of reads. Point blank, 108. 360 runs right into the barrel of Pear. Texas A&M only had to find one final member here. Couple of quick heals, and man, oh man, Augusta is looking like minced meat here. Watson gets absolutely obliterated. And for Texas A&M Maroon, they're pulling away 3 KP. That is absolutely critical. Remember, guys, most of the rosters who aren't Ottawa, Bellevue, or Fisher are walking away with 1 or 2. You can even see it in the kill feed right now. There's Cloaked with a knock on Octavia. Serial Cat from Fisher with a knock on a West Virginia Wesleyan. We're too late. We're too late to the fight. Serial Cat already found the remnants. West Virginia Wesleyan are gone. We're on World's Edge, and for any team, before you get onto World's Edge, your first goal should go, where's Bellevue, where's Fisher, where's Ottawa, and then run away. Get out. Go. Find somewhere safe to play. Trust me, you can get loot somewhere else. You cannot survive them. Aegis Ease with a drop onto Purdue, but now for CSU F. Fullard in there. Bing, bam, blink and you bust. One final remaining member, and I mean, like I said, why would you move into a POI you know is contested by the likes of Fisher? Here's Ottawa coming just as quickly. They'll send Sloth packing, and that's that full thirst. Both of these rosters are so hyper-aggressive, they have both opted to move in to Skyhook. I don't even know if this is where the zone ends. Does it matter? They're looking for KP. As a result, Ottawa does get that nice knock drop onto Fisher and might be able to extend it further if they can find those final members. We do jump over to KSU, at least to congratulate them. They had a couple of nice line drives down below that you got to see there. Looks like Purdue Black was the remnants of that fight. Meanwhile, out in no man's land, Texas A&M are pissed. It doesn't stop. Here comes a massive EMP in response to at least slow them a bit, but it is still a 2v3. Nabber with a heal, and he has that double jump advantage to at least walk into them. SE janked, picked apart by Nabber himself, and now for Tamu Maroon, one final member of Southeastern is running, hopefully, for the hills. There he is, in the hills. They have eyes, and Swifty has a zip line to boot. The full chase out in front of him. Tamu Maroon will try to hunt for this last remaining member. Now, if I am correct, I do believe we saw another full first there onto Fisher with Serial Cat in the kill feed. That means it is just Dom 2 Cracked left alive. I don't know if they're going to be able to survive much further. It depends on how far away he is, how he's ratting, whatever. We'll jump on into our lobby leaders, Bellevue here. I asked you 13 KP or not. For now, looks like they are struggling. Schmub does not go down there for the trade, and the full thirst might be on its way. Bellevue a little bit too far from this fight to be fully collapsed on. But ultimately, it's a big win for SJSU. I don't want them to overcommit to this. One bad crack, one bad knock, and suddenly it is a 2v2 situation. You can see that with Nkosu, who has already brought down quite a bit. Out to the edge of zone. I can't believe we're still here. University of Calgary, one of the better teams in all of Collegiate, I mean, they're roughing it. Jump up onto the height. U of H will be caught away. We'll say goodbye to the Cougs for now. Meanwhile, University of Utah chasing out what I can only assume is a quick reset from Fisher. They're the only team that was this close. And yes, that is Fisher Esports. There is a UT White on the other side here that could also pressure them. But I don't know how good their aim might be. They are one of the worst teams in Collegiate right now. Or in Premier League. Not Collegiate. They did earn Premier League at least. Anyways, point blank there. Fisher will at least get to the building. A full Maggie ball committed against the building. That will not be stunned. Check out that Maggie ball. Oh, there it goes. All right. They don't even follow through with it for at least getting into the fight. It might have been a call to go for it, but they might not have had all the information of the University of Utah third party, so I'll give them benefit of the doubt.
Contact with target.
Utah on into the edge zone here. Fisher is semi-stuck with nowhere to go, and here comes Tamu Maroon, maybe looking for the third party. Now, this is a Skyhook zone. You can go to Skyhook. You can play into these buildings. You can have an insane amount. It is round 2. There should be 10 teams plus in Skyhook at this point. What are we doing? Why is there only like 3 teams? Why are there only 4 teams in Skyhook? Oh my god. What is this? It's just too much aggression. Fisher Esports here. They get a response on to Alpha City on. Or Alpha Side on. And man, oh man. UT White doesn't know what's about to hit him. A fat face of Fisher. It's stinky. It's smelly. It smells like fish. Man, oh man. UT White. They had their chance. They had their height. They had their Maggie ball. And it really was wasted here. Meanwhile, Bellevue University looks like they got their full reset at some point. Committed for the revives, and up on high will send Aegis packing. No, 4 teams died. Skyhook first. No one want to go back. There's teams outside of it. They don't know that. They were all the way in tree. You can't use that to explain why University of Houston is stuck in tree on a Zone 1 close. It's salmon, definitely salmon. I remember that one. Alright. 13 squads remaining, and hopefully we'll slow it down. University of Calgary says otherwise. Stuck behind the hill. You don't even get the chance to put up the rampart walls. Lost Aimer sends Trauma packing here, and for Purdue Black, they just sustained their revive on the edge of staging. Doesn't look like there's much more to say. They're going to have to play as a solo once again. Finally, though, I am happy to say we are starting to see the rest of these lobbies start to put themselves together. Looks like Waukee from Purdue Black was randomly found in Countdown. That final remaining member you can see on the outskirts of Landslide there. So, I mean, it's an extra piece of KP for Tamu Maroon, and maybe more. They're up to 7 KP this round. This is actually arguably one of their best. I mean, it's not arguably, it is. It is their best performance today for Tamu Maroon. If they can deliver on placement as well, it really will be. For the Ottawa Braves, we saw them definitively control the likes of Skyhook here, and unlike their counterparts, they are playing the heart of zone on purpose. They want to try and win out these games. Their blemish last game of a second place finish is definitely one that rings true in their mind. Here's the thing though, Skyhook offers a lot of safety. All these buildings, whether it be the literal individual buildings or the multiple heights, are going to allow teams to get away with bloody murder. All right, you're going to have the opportunity to survive a lot longer than you expect. Fisher Esports here. I mean, we literally never see these guys slow down. There's Ty down. Shake and Gerald, where are they? Dom2 cracks a little low. Serial Cat is a bit sniped out here. Gerald with the response. Hawaii has actually made this a 2v2. They're going to extend at least a revive here for now. Knuckle Cluster extended. Going to burn out the entirety of Serial Cat. Oh my god! There's no way! Oh my god! Oh! Oh! Gig 'em! Holy gig 'em! Oh my god! Texas A&M just beat Bellevue. Holy shit! I know the boys are absolutely slamming it right now. Okay, anyways, back to University of Calgary. Right into the face of University of Hawaii. Hawaii with a reset onto Gerald, with a knock onto FPS Aether. A Sparrow ultimate will stop them for a second. Oh, the Maggie Ball will blast them back. Every chunk of utility is pressuring them. Calgary are trying to sustain a revive, and man, oh man, that burn looks good. Here comes the nade. No re-knock onto FPSA. They're running through the smoke. Lost Aimer is picked apart, but he hasn't gone down. Finally, knock for knock. UHE doesn't quite get the rotate they need. Full thirst onto Lost Aimer here. A commit on the Pathy, and a PK to settle it in stone. Meanwhile, Fisher Esports should be coming out of zone here. Carver attacked. A smoke to give them a bit of an exchange on the clarity. 96 misses the second shot, and Fisher have done it. They'll turn their attention to Calgary, and the quick reset, the respawn onto Dom to crack. A burn from afar from Sloth here. And Fisher Esports have managed to survive through it all. Ottawa in the center. We saw Tamu maybe sending it on to KSU Black there. We missed it a second ago. SJSU kind of split. Should be fine. I don't know how you're dying to the ring, Octavia. I don't know how that's even possible. You have had so much time to get to Skyhook. You have absolutely zero excuse for not being in Skyhook by this point. Now they're going to teleport across to the height of this building there. That's the final remaining member of CSUF Blue. They're going to try to sustain a revive off of that port play from the Ash. We'll see how it goes. Like I said it before the bans, a lot of Path, a lot of Ash. KSU Void. There's a really quick response on the Nabber. We're going to full send this. There's the thirst on the knockdown shield. Tamu has escaped down the stairwell. Full thirst on the Nabber, and Texas A&M should try to set themselves up. But point blank, right in the face of Blue Sky there. They're going to get slowly choked. The wall barely misses out on stunning it. It's a knock onto Blue Sky. Tamu Maroon are in a 2v2 situation. They don't want to let this revive come through. Swifty is healing bat for bat here. They're going to try to revive. No. There's the full crack on the knockdown shield. No more incendiary grenade. They'll peek through the edge of zone. Swifty already low. Pear is committing, but just as quickly takes damage. They don't get quite the success they wanted. They can't essentially commit for that revive yet. Meanwhile, Fisher Esports fighting for the first floor of this building. Tamu Maroon might have to give this fight up. And there's the full commit of the Sparrow ultimate in point blank there. And they're on KSU instead. Tamu Maroon might look to third party this one out from up above. There is the remnants of Fisher back up towards height here. And if you're KSU Black or Fisher, I would just start trying to survive. Meanwhile, Utah is very close to this and could third party at any point. I mean, look at this. Look at their teensy rotate. All right, Black done. Fisher are still full 3. There's Tamu Maroon, and trust me, you do not want to be contesting against Fisher as a duo. They will peek you, and they will burn you. Dom to cracked almost goes down. A quick peek around the stairwell, and it's defensive angles. They still do not have Nabber. 8 squads remaining, and if I was Tamu Maroon, I would get out of here. 1 full swing is all it takes. Fisher taking their time to heal once again. The minute they are full health, the 3 of them definitively should full send this fight here. Purdue watching from the north. Utah watching from the south. Fisher exchanging a couple of shield cells. All right. Quick revive. Man, oh man, Tamu is holding on for dear life. There's the Sparrow ultimate. 108. Dom 2 cracked eliminated. A peek from the stairwell. And shit, man. I told you 100 times. Here comes University of Utah. They're going to see if they can fully commit to a full cleanup here. Meanwhile, Ottawa Braves. We haven't checked in with them in a while. From the center of zone, northern side. We'll try to wipe, but not much more to say there. Temple Cherry, a single rat. Man, oh man. All right. 7 squads remaining. We're down to 3 buildings. You got Market, the eastern building, and that stacked one I just showcased between Utah and Fisher there. A lot of rats left alive. KSU Gold should be able to maybe get them into this building across. We saw them running away from Ottawa, but remember, there's so much space to play with so little teams left alive. Now, the University of Utah is playing the height of the stacked cake building. Point blank, though, they will run right into the face of Dom 2 Crack. Turns around the knockdown shield, and the burning damage sends him down. Fisher Esports rotate towards height, though, and they're going to get these full thirsts whether you like it or not. Narwhal Boy and Mez eliminated means it's just Mobius left standing alive. He could peek this, but man, oh man, he's got bad angles and a half. If I were you, Mobius, I would raft. Out to the outskirts, he'll very quickly be point-blank chase assumed by Fisher Esports. They just have to expend a little bit here to fully wipe out that kill. Ottawa up north, KSU towards the east. Temple Cherry found on their own Radage play. Fisher could win it and get their second win of the day, or we could see the Ottawa recovery. Problem is, you just took a bullet to the noggin from Kecht Emporium from KSU Gold. Here comes the teleport and a half here. Couple of flesh found for trauma. CSUF Blue already eliminated. Purdue Black, KSU Gold, Ottawa Braves, and Fisher Esports. All 4 rosters, 4 separate buildings, all 3 players each. We are in prime derivative, direct attention for all of these teams. Now, Fisher have height, and depending on the poll, this could be a definitive win. Problem is, this building can be held, once again, as I've said multiple times, by multiple squads here. So if the pole is close to them, you can get teams that play the fence line below you. You can get teams playing first or second floor. You can get just a lot of survivability, okay? So for specifically KSU Gold and Ottawa, who have to cross, that is going to be a little hard here. You can already see Ottawa extending the cat wall to make the exchange. They want to play for this early. They do not want to be caught by the edge timer of zone here. And so they're going to cross for what I assume is either a fence line or maybe even first floor. There's the burn and a half from KSU. Here they go. They're going to walk into the first floor, already being choked out. Now shot from above. That'll be the burn on KSU's Wrecked Emporium. Misplaced out as well. Aegis from the other side. And it is a beautiful, nigh perfect cleanup from Fisher Esports to defend their building. Meanwhile, Ottawa, the cross wasn't towards the other side. They had opted to play for Purdue Black's building. So now Ottawa and Purdue are stacked together, only a few floors apart. The team that's across from them with no pressure whatsoever, Fisher Esports. You can see they're already taking alternative angles. Look at Dom 2 Cracked here, playing the outside. This can be good, but do not go down. You want to punish these rotating squads. You don't want them to get the burn on you. Final round closing. The edge of zone pressing against the likes of Ottawa and Purdue. They are forced to move way earlier than Fisher. Into the smoke, Purdue Black will drop from on high. They will race towards the low ground across from them. They will dodge a Sparrow ultimate, and barely, just barely, they will last. Darquisha, Joaquin, Purdue, all alive here. Serial Cat with a knock on a Reapin. Fisher has identified the location of where Purdue has gone, and now will try to burn this out. Meanwhile, nade for nade, Dom 2 Cracked, delaying where Ottawa can roam, where they can run. A single file remaining member. The ball may hit, but Ottawa will go down in third. Fisher so healthy. Purdue with nothing. Serial Cat committing, and it is another win on the board in Game 5 for Fisher Esports. Congratulations. Oh my gosh. We are 1 game to go. We've got quite some time to get into it. We've got 5 minutes till we get to the next game. So we're going to take this opportunity to do a little bit of checkups on these lobbies. First things first, let's go to our scoreboard. A versus C. You guys have been waiting for the race. We'll look at Game 5 first. Fisher Esports. Holy hell. Talk about insanity. Atmosai has redeemed a hydrate. Do you care if it's Coke Zero or water? Let me get a confirmation on that in chat. Coke Zero or water? We got 5 minutes anyways. Anyways, 39 points. Water? Bullshit. All right, give me a second. You guys are cringe. I like Coke Zero better. All right, here we go. Water online. Here's your hydration redemption. Hey. Woo! Woo! It's cold and it hurts my teeth. Nice use of the Moby layer in the game, trying to bring Zone 6 to more teams. Nice use of combos and weapons and nice shots. Combo uses with Kraber. Amen, Bulldog Kush. Amen. All right, Fisher Esports with 39 points on the board here. 27 kills. Hey, Kuzer. Congratulations on the 5-stream streak. Thank you for joining me for 5 straight streams. That really does mean a lot. That's awesome, man. Thank you. I'll see you at 100, brother. All right. Other lobby has Skyhook Zone 2. Crazy. Hey, we're getting some 5-stream streaks here. Thank you, guys. Matt Stanky. Badger, thank you for the commission of the points. Remember, we got 500,000 community points up above for a community-hosted tournament from Zephyr. Zephyr Weffer. Prize pool, whatever it is. I'll try to make it happen as hard as possible. All right. This is what I wanted to check. 39, 34, 35, 26. Fisher have officially set the record in this lobby, this game, with 39 points. 27 kills. They were almost choked out of it, rotating from Monument. They could have been done, but instead, they survive, they send it, and they end up with a beautiful 39 points. Now, Ottawa finishes secondary there in 3rd place with 13 points respectively. And hey, a big congratulations to Texas A&M Maroon. This is their best performance on the day. It's not a lot to walk away with because they only get into 8th place, but 10 KP makes up a huge difference of that. That is massive for Texas A&M Maroon. Purdue Black into 2nd place with no KP. 9 KSU Gold with 9 themselves, and 7 for UC and diminishing returns across the board. As we look at the overall, Fisher have jumped to 1st place, 110 points. The race between Fisher and Bellevue is critical now. A 1-point separation between Fisher Esports and Bellevue University. 4.8 placement respectively. 76 kills, 75. We are talking about a nigh identical point standing. It's going to come down to this last game for 1st place finish. Ottawa likely safe with 74. Utah likely safe for 4th on 56. And then we've got this massive sweeping exchange that can occur here. Calgary has kept it consistent. KSU Gold has kept it consistent. TAMU Maroon makes a return. Purdue Black jumps up to the top 8 here. We could see a real race for the top 5. We'll just have to wait and see. Ban is going to be Sparrow going forward here, so a lot of the mobility is still left alive, but that zone control you get from the ultimate, no longer available. Let's take a quick refresh on the other lobby. We're coming out of Game 4. UCSD Gold is leading right now. Congratulations to them. One of their best performances yet. A very balanced lobby at that, a 6.9 quality. A race between them and Illini Orange. And hey, ISU Farmers have made a disgusting return. Their placement, kind of mid, but their KP, gross. They have ramped progressively on the day, and they just came out of a 17-point kill game. And my God, I cannot believe I'm saying it. The St. Clair Saints have succeeded for once. 38 points. Minnesota kind of falling behind. Western not far behind. Cumberland, a bad day for Cumberland. This is just not where you expect to see the Cumberland roster. They are behind Western Outlaws, Minnesota, and I can't believe I'm saying it, St. Clair Saints. All right, guys, one final game for groups A versus C. I don't know if we're going to get to see the other lobby just due to timing. Southern Miss is number in the league and 10th right now. Oh, yeah. What is this? Viz, Dallas, Mank. We're missing Theosin, but that's not an excuse. Viz has 6,630 damage with 6 kills. Southern Miss is getting shit on. This is the previous champion of Octane Collegiate. What is that? Theozen is the sub? Okay, never mind. I guess he just played a lot with the roster in weeks 1 and 2. Anyways, final things to boot. The race. Fisher versus Bellevue. Utah can surpass Ottawa in a perfect world, but it's got to be an electric game. And then the rest of the lobby competing for 5th. Let's jump on in. We are officially in. Remember, 19 squads remaining, 56 players on the board. That's because there are 2 for Indiana, University, Pennsylvania, and no Gamerhawks Navy. Do you want to go into Game 6 for the other lobby? If it's only natural. I do not want to make them wait. If lobby B versus D is if it doesn't immediately start, like, yes.
Move your
But
Evo harvesters.
contact my observer. Yeah. It's gonna come down to some tight numbers. All right, Texas A&M, we saw them with a bit of a response coming out of this last game, and they're already potentially being assaulted upon. You can see Swifty exchanging a couple of shots, breaking a single Watson shield against, I can only assume, Augusta Esports from this last game here. Here's the extension. See if they commit a little bit further. Last time around, they fully sent it on to streamer building against Augusta. And shit, Augusta made it look like they were walking straight into their chamber. Meanwhile, KSU Gold against SJSU in the kill feed. All right, there's the beam and a half from Pear there. Swifty takes a brunt in response. SJSU, by the way, a response on to KSU. 2 for 2 for them. Meanwhile, drone for drone, we're playing with an EMP. Nabber is on the crypto. Massive cracks out up above. Here's the commit from Texas A&M. The rest of the lobby is exploding right now. 360 deleted. Swifty up on high. Bullet Blank wins the 1v1. Final remaining member of Augusta. We'll have to wait and see. Stuck in the zip line. And congratulations to Texas A&M Maroon. Put Augusta in their place again here. 18 squads remaining. And it looks like Ottawa haven't quite finished the job here. They are close. Most unfun match day of my life. Sorry to hear that, SJSU. Meanwhile, SJSU Blue eliminated by KSU Gold. It was a tight fight, but instead, we'll watch Calgary here. Trade for trade. FPS Aether is down. Evil Howl, not much better. Will peek towards the center. That's not exactly the read of Temple Cherry's location. They're already escaping up to height. KSU Gold on that finish. Meanwhile, KSU Black with a knock against Bellevue. Absolutely critical there.
Make a beat. Got a light arsenal here.
Check my Twitter. Loki just thinking of dropping the contenders.
Avoid going there.
It's, yeah, the skill discrepancy is, it's hard. Because you basically need 16 Bellevues. And then the rest of these other collegiate teams have to be like on that level, you know, or you get what I mean. It is just hard. Texas A&M Maroon, my observer's showing a little bit of bias. We're back into point blank range of trying to compete for the train tunnel. Yeah, that is a rolling thunder committed against them as meanwhile, Ottawa in the kill feed finding 1 member of Indiana University, Pennsylvania. Contenders is pretty fun. Contenders is fun, man. We're all mid together. Jesus. Well, I can't wait to watch Contenders. I promise in spring I will absolutely watch Contenders. No question. I actually might have a free Contenders day. I have, there's a football bye week. All right. Tamu. Quick knock drops. Alpha City on. Nowhere to go. And for UT White, the Texas A&M squad says, saw 'em off, baby. Saw 'em off. Absolutely incredible from the Aggies. Beauty, Boone, and Busted. Texas A&M now 2 full wipes. That's 6 KP on the board for the Tamu roster.
Target spotted.
Here we go. I like how Collegiate is just diamond ranked players versus mid to tier 2 players. Yo, Scythe the Apex. I'm telling you right now, it's not even just that. You have people who are literally pro players, people who are literally in Pro League, like Serial Cat, people who have reached Pro League, like Voddery, going against people who Like, look, they're in the kill feed. We just loved watching Tamu. Tamu had some great fights. Tamu is gone. There's Serial Cat. Pro League player Serial Cat just wiped all of them. And that's the thing. To you, Serial Cat is mid. But the difference here is the fact that if Serial Cat's mid, then what does that make Collegiate players? They're not even mid. They're god-awful. Now, the reality is, these players aren't that bad. It's just that it is a distinct level of difference, right? When we talk about the height of an Apex Legends player, the gap only grows so much further time after time, right? It gets worse and worse and worse, right? Anyways, we can talk about that later. Either way, it's still entertaining to me. Nowhere to go, an evac tower that will, well, be finished by the zone alone. University of Hawaii caught by KSU. And a lovely thank you to Hey Zed, Last King, on the phone. We'll jump on over to Fisher Esports. I have to believe this might be Ottawa here. We saw them seconds ago, and the race between Fisher and Bellevue is still the question on the board. They are tied for points right now. Watch Temple Cherry. I'm not the observer. Point blank, the full send on to Utah of all teams. Utah should still be safe. So we'll see how it goes. Narwhal Boys and Mez eliminated. It just leaves Mobius to run actually back into Monument, where Ottawa Braves are stuck as a solo individual just as well. Need to go get some useless business so I can IGL some nerds. Hey man, if you think you're that good, welcome to Collegiate. I promise you, it is one good player. I mean, you gotta work your ass off. 3 good players, that's a difference. There's Zephyr's watch video so he can live and be focused on casting. Yeah, there you go. There's your casual answer of the day. You can see, look at my hands. Unless I'm using my toes right now. Anyways, Ottawa caught out here over on the edge. It's Mobius v Ottawa, point blank into the smoke. You can hear the slide out on the side here. Mobius looking for that final remaining member. Finds 36 here. This is a 1v1 for Utah's life. Ottawa gets the response. This is going to keep them competitive, and if Ottawa has an explosive game, this will be huge. Yeah, sorry, Mez. It was a good run today. It was a very good run today, Mez. Thought Utah would have won that. Yeah. Yeah, crazy. Crazy. University of Calgary. Out towards the side of zone here. Now in a very good position, by the way, to keep their 5th protected on the day. Couple of long-range shots won't quite land as Fisher Esports are pretty extended. Not looking like they're going to be much better themselves. Things to watch. Bellevue up north. Remember, we are competing. You can check out the scoreboard on the pinned message. 109 versus 110. Bellevue versus Fisher. We've already seen Fisher get a lot of KP. The question is Bellevue needs to do the same. They need to get aggressive. Here we go. Couple shots out and away from Bellevue. They're not going to be able to commit for a full wipe any much longer. Deep distance range from Vatari. I mean, it's a great charge rifle, but a smoke and a half will delay for now. Meanwhile, Southeastern with a knock on to Purdue Black, and here comes Fisher working their way into zone step by step. Like I've said, they've been more aggressive in this final game, so they're currently beating Bellevue here. It would take them getting knocked and getting held out to delay this. And up against University of Houston Red, I might say the Go Cougs motto, but man, oh man, the paw will not lie. Here comes that Arc Star, a little bit of a burn, and they continue to assault space upon space. Fisher, all they have to do is drop on the back here, and you've got them locked and busted out towards the pill, and there's nowhere to go. Serial Cat with a knock onto Johnny, a drop down to the low ground. We'll say goodbye to Alex and Sir Garrison for another full squad wipe for Fisher Esports. Here is the question now. Fisher have to make a decision. There are some incredible teams like Bellevue gatekeeping on the edge of zone here. that they might potentially rotate into. That's not an easy fight. University of Calgary, last time we checked in with them, were rotating through the zip line. They make their way all the way around. And for southeastern Oklahoma here, there's not much to say. Avery caught out off the edge of the port there, and the full thirst will come through. Now it is going to be Fisher rotating towards the south side of zone, so they will not run into Bellevue. That's going to be pretty instinctual, and ultimately could lead to like a Bellevue clearing out the north side, Fisher clearing out the south side. Super Titan fight, Bellevue v. Fisher. We're just going to have to wait and see. Southeastern will be finally full thirsted by Temple, the single remaining rat here. Ottawa extending on his train line, space for space against Bellevue University. Couple G7 scouts. RJ does lose that exchange. Burn for a half as University of Calgary, meanwhile, caught out by the likes of Fisher. Fisher are currently winning that KP race against Bellevue. All I'm going to say, there's that full final thirst, and I mean, they simply can't win the 3v3. They literally cannot. Fisher is just that definitively better. Purdue with a long-range knock onto Rect Emporium, and I can't even tell you where KSU Gold is. They're across in the northern side. It's not going to result in a full thirst here. They should be able to set themselves up. Temple Cherry doing the smart thing, hiding out towards Grandma's house, all the way towards the southwestern side. Honestly, just delay. Wait out this game. Here comes the full glide out and away towards the south side of zone from Bellevue University here. KSU just behind them. A little bit of a split from this roster, and there it is. Sloth with a knock onto Jukesy for the Bellevue versus Fisher action. I don't know if we'll see much more. Fisher's going to commit to the low ground almost entirely. Dom gets burned, but it is in the face of Muffins. Just doesn't quite have it. Sniped out from up above. It will leave one remaining member in Voddery to survive for the Bellevue roster. Here comes KSU Gold. A little bit done and distracted by the Mirage. Delayed by the Rolling Thunder. It's going to be a reset here for Fisher. They get a little bit of a tick on the other end of their final chunk of damage, and they could try to look for this fight, but man, oh man, it is hard. Scan and a half there. Someone's still on height, preventing KSU from closing the gap. Instead, it's Voddery with a long knock onto the likes of Dom 2 cracked. KSU potentially looking for the commit here, and Sloth covering with all ounces of his superior energy. Serial Cat with a peek of their own, and they're both flesh to be found here. A knock and a half. A misplaced beer is in the storage. He's ready to drink them up for KSU to send Fisher out in 7th place here. Now, here's the thing. Bellevue are stuck as one. You can see him extending down south for a revive. Bellevue, though, still have to make the cross from the southeastern edge and last for those placement points and make up the difference in KP that Fisher was able to assume to come out in first today. It is far from impossible. It is well within Bellevue's wheelhouse. The thing is, they have to do it nonetheless. And here's the worst part. It doesn't even look like they got all their members back up. They are stuck as a duo, and they are gate-kept by the likes of KSU Gold and Ottawa to their south. I don't know the answer for Bellevue here, but all they have to do is try. One good crack, one good knock, something of a shield swap, anything to work with. There is space in the zone. We need to see how they play. Purdue Black up on high, not forced to move for the time being here. Temple Cherry on the other side, controlling at least some level of coverage. Someone's going for a revive in the heart of zone here. Smoke for smoke doesn't lead to much damage for Temple Cherry, but ultimately they're separated as is. You've got an extension all the way up towards the north. Bellevue has made the exchange to the low ground. Kraber in the hands of Misplays here, trying to find a knock against the 2v2. Aegis was low. Misplays around the bend, but shot in the back from Temple Cherry doesn't mean he gets to commit as much as he would like. Then a quick turnaround from Jukesy. Jukesy and Voddery. Oh shit, they might as well be able to 2v3 any roster here. A quick pylon knock. A burn in a half of the incendiary grenade. He'll walk through his own damage, and man, oh man, it does not matter. A shield swap leaves just Aegis in hand. Takes the Kraber away from Misplays, and Ottawa feasts that final Aegis kill. Top 5 squads remaining. A 210 onto Waukee up above. The only problem is between a Bangalore and a frickin' a Maggie, you can't get up to height. You only pray that you're burning their resources, but they've got infinite batteries nonetheless there. All right. CSUF attempting to go for a revive onto Crimson Monkey and already shot out from the action. There's no chance they get that one set up here. Temple Cherry out south. Ottawa on the upper north side of zone in the definitive God spot for the end of this game. We'll have to see it goes. Observer, ask OY if the other lobby is ready. Meanwhile, Vatari, we miss out on it. It's another knock and a half against CSUF Fullerton down below here. Slide across the bars. Quick reload for the full bullets in the chambers. CSUF were able to sustain the revive, but Jukesy and Vod are more than happy to train their attention towards you. 210 and Crimson Monkey looks like a crimson pool of blood.
Forget that.
Other lobbies deep into game 6. It's all good. No worries, brother. Final squads remaining. Couple of nades. And, I mean, Purdue is right there just waiting for them to drop. 4 squads. Bellevue are surviving into some explicit placement positioning. Meanwhile, Purdue opting to send it onto Ottawa down below here. They might not go for the building, but instead are shot with the G7 Scout from a distance away. Meanwhile, Temple Cherry, not that far, gets another knock as well. One final remaining member for Purdue Black down below, and Temple Cherry has committed just as much here. Full burst on the board. Purdue Black eliminated from the riot drill from Jukesy. Top 3 squads remaining. Bellevue, Ottawa, Temple Cherry in their final moments.
The enemy far.
Couple of shields for Temple Cherry. Bellevue are on the outskirts of these 2 rosters, but here's the problem. They are a duo. Ottawa can commit to Temple Cherry on the slow ground, but the reality is you don't want yourself to go down in the meanwhile. Guys like Dash can get a response on you. They can throw a wrench into your survivability. It won't be the cleanest fight here. Not to mention, who knows? Temple Cherry could climb up on this. Basically, I'm spelling out that there's always a chance for Bellevue, even as a duo, to win this final fight out. We'll see how it goes. Kansas is Ottawa Braves. Bellevue University. Temple Cherry. My entire PC died in the 5th game in high GL by typing in chat because I was on 20 frames and lagging. So sad. Shit, well done. You know what's even more well done? How cooked Ottawa might be here. That's a knock on to Reap. Temple Cherry can move into this. They hear the height up above them. They got the revive off onto Reap. Temple Cherry are not far away. Final round closing, and there comes the evac. There's the peek from Temple Cherry. It's a knock onto Dash, a wipe onto Cloak, and here's the issue. Both of these rosters are now stuck as a duo. Bellevue are just vying, waiting for the chance to come in. Vatari with another critical knock. Temple Cherry are able to get the respawns on the interior. RJ committing inside, and I can't believe this. Ottawa down in 3rd. It's a 2v2 situation here, but the burn from Jukesy, a Sheila to prey on the edge of door. Here comes Jukesy, able to find just a bit of damage, but the reality is, folks, as a duo, 1 bullet in the chamber, a single man of Jukesy, and a drill to boot. There's nowhere for them to go. There's no final commit. There is only another Bellevue win on the day. Congratulations to Bellevue University. Here's the thing with Fisher Esports' early death, with their elimination fairly quick in these lobbies. Here we go. Let's take a look. Bellevue University and the overall standings by 8 points. 8 points. The KP works out roughly the same for both of these rosters. The difference? The placement. Slightly worse placement on the board here. A 17th and an 18th. The lowest it ever got for Bellevue was a 9th. Their placement makes it up for them. Both of these teams had double wins, But shit, Bellevue had 2 second-place finishes. And congratulations to Bellevue winning the day here in day 3. 135 points. They have continued to prove that they are the best roster in Collegiate. And who knows, they might jump all the way back up to first place. Fisher Esports, though, let us not downplay this. It is still an incredible response for them. If it wasn't for the fact that Jukesies and Voddery have to make up Muffin's damage, they would be always the definitive leader. Fisher Esports, all 3 of these players are absolutely crazy. Dom, Serial Cat, Sloth, an insane 10K respectively between the 3 of them, a quite equivalent KP as well. All 3 members just disgusting. Ottawa Braves for a finish in 3rd place there themselves, even though they don't last into that game as a trio and kind of get their ass walked up upon by Temple Cherry. They still had 3 really strong games to finish out the day of a 25-point, a 13-point, and a 12-point. Utah for 5th, and we round out our top 5 with UFC Exodus. It's kind of a little bit of a race between KSU Gold and TAMU Maroon there, but the reality is no one quite made a bigger exchange because the Wabi was won by Bellevue one final time. CSUF Blue, University of Hawaii, Temple Cherry in your 9 through 11. And so who are the bigger failures today? SJSU Blue, once again, really not representing. How bad is the quality? It was a 4. A 4 out of 10 today. I'll look at the full qualities in a second. Anyone else really underperformed? KSU Black, very bad day for KSU Black. 16th with 13 points. SJSU and KSU Black, really the 2 that really had a rough one. Good response from TAMU Maroon. I'm a little bit biased. Everyone else kind of expected here. Yeah. All right. Game 1 was a 6.6. 2 was a 5.6. 3 was a 5.0. A 1.49. A 3.7. And a 1.5. Check DMs and show the image. A classic outreach from Kennesaw Apex here. You guys aren't that good. But sure as shit, SJSU doesn't look a hell of a lot better. Man, oh man. I1v3'd. That's the type of beef I like to see, Viking Cap. Either way, it's a bad day for SJSU. So you're going to have to take this L, brother. You're going to have to take this L. This is the reality. When I'm looking at a, what is this? Where is it? Oh, this is the other lobby. All right. When I'm looking at, whatever. It's ever. I sold the last game so the little guys can win today. Hey, you know, Dom, you can't win them all, right? If you guys work on that 17th place and that 18th place finish and that 14th place finish where you just kind of shit the bed for no reason, you're on your way up, brother. You're on your way up, brother. That's the difference right there. Those are points, not placement. Oh, my bad. Place 7th, 5th, 13th. Okay. Not as bad as I thought. 13th. Worst one was a 13th place. That's not that bad. Still, we can, it's relatively even. The only difference is there's just better placement. Bellevue just places better. Generally the most unfun lobby I've ever watched. Yeah, it's tough. When you've got these 3 just trying to run through it, it is tough. But of you, amen, Dom. You tell him, brother. All right, guys. One quick check on this one. Game 5 isn't quite done, but this is what I like to see. A classic 41-point savior game from Cumberland University to remind us that they're not frauds. They shit the bed with no scores throughout the day, and then out of nowhere have a 41-point game where we all get to laugh and say, oh wait, that's Cumberland University. Second place for ISU Farmers, and they constantly flip-flop how good they are week by week. A return for Illini. Huge ups for St. Clair and Minnesota on their recovery. And while they were leading at the start of the day, UCSD Gold have slowly fallen piece by piece. Game 6 ain't over there, Zeph. I know. This is a fantastic response. Also, look at Game 5. I already did look at Game 5, brother. 41 points. Temple's still in good standing despite having Bellevue in our group. Yeah, you got to race against it. I get it, but if you do 20, there's no point to play. So if you do 30, then it'll still just be as balanced. Nah, you're all right. All right, OI. All right, guys. Ultimately, OI, how much time left in that secondary lobby? How much time in that second lobby? Just pull up Full Sail stream. All right, guys. We're gonna be a little silly here. We're gonna pull up the Full Sail stream. Full Sail Armada. Here you go. I think they're. I mean, it's Full Sail, so they're probably already dead. Oh no, they're not.
Shielding there.
Oh no, I'm not gonna listen to these casters. Hey, shout out to Full Sail though. I mean, we're gonna watch them for the remnants of these lobbies here, just because why not? Kind of hard to. I apologize because I really won't have much to read in terms of what's going on in these games. I'll turn on the audio just a little bit, just a little bit. All right. All right. Quick a chunk of damage from Thalos, and we'll finish up with Game 6. Oh my freaking god! ISU, just a little nasty with it. Little melee, couple of chunks and a half. And I'll tell you what, Iowa State University. See how it goes. A couple of teams still alive. You can see what looks like a fight there between UCSD and Western in the kill feed. Lock with response, knock onto Goblin. Let's see how it goes. Georgia Tech Navy will be wiped out in the meanwhile. It's going to be Minnesota State Mavericks trying to fight for a place in zone here. This one pulls away from Stacks last minute, and the cart is available. It's not a perfect place to play, but if they can definitively gatekeep the height, this is not a bad spot to work with. All right. I mean, I'm all right with it. They're going to be able to walk up to this fence line towards the southern side and be just fine. The only problem is they're going to have to defend against Iowa State over on the other side. There's going to be a lot of people dying trying to mitigate north to zone. Yeah, that's the problem here. You're stuck in Stacks with not a lot of place to go. Schmal's going to try to defend this here against Kamal and the Iowa State roster. You have to be so careful how you tackle this fight because they will win this. ISU will beat Minnesota in their best foot forward here. Eisenhower getting shot out as we say goodbye to Alabama in the kill feed. A shout out to UCSD. I talked about how they were falling off coming into Game 6. They're making responses. A quick evac tower from Iowa State as they will take to the skies here. Minnesota does not get any kind of drop. In fact, none of the lobby gets a drop there. And we'll see them fly directly into the heart of Big Mod. This will give Minnesota the safety to play on the edge of the fence line there quite confidently. Now, inside a zone here, there's SCC. Edge to go. Point blank, Dundee running right into their remnants. He's half health there, and I can't imagine. I thought there was a pylon up. Nade spam out on the side, and for VCU Legends, there's a reason they're on the bottom of my point standing. Quick burn and a half, and we are just Galaxy MP for nothing. UCSD, not much better, and we take a look more directly at what exists in the heart of these buildings here. You can see FSU, ISU above, and two members of UCD down below here. Yeah. Ykai and Nixon, and that tells me you do have UT Orange also trying to play in. Daxon, she's on quick response, and welcome Pie Hole 3.14. I kind of like that. That's a really good name. That's a very good name. We're watching. We already finished the main broadcast for today, but we're going to just quickly finish up this Game 6 on the other competitive scoreboard because why not? We like watching Collegiate. All right. UCSD with a quick respawn there. You can see FSU and ISU in the building. UT surviving on the outskirts. Minnesota all the way north. Heyo, Dastardly. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it, brother. Welcome to the Zephyr Club. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Dastardly, thanks for the follow, bro. All right, no, okay. That's it. I had to do it once. Oh, my God. Freddie MCJ. Thank you for the follow, bro. Oh, my God. Piehole 3.14. I can't even cast right now. Thank you for the follow, bro. We'll say goodbye to the Western Outlaws in the meanwhile, as up above here. That's the full wipe. FSU Garnet, though, rotated from the backside for UCSD. They're going to have to take their time to get themselves reset, but they'll immediately walk into UCSD and commit for the fight, but instead lose out on Balvini guy. It's up to May Candy to try to keep this one gunning and running here. RE45 in hand. Daxon's making excuses in chat. That won't save FSU Garnet. Here we go. Zephyr Poo, we shit the bed today? Yes, you did. University of Southern Miss looked like shit. Group T on top. Amen to ISU. Negative sleep. You can't blame FSU for shitting the bed. Point blank on the drill. Kraber in hand. 150 on to Rusty. Rumbly commits for another. He takes out the 30-30, and he's got to make the hip fire work. Quick reload. And no! It's too late. UCSD Gold fails in their final moments. Meanwhile, we'll check out ISU up above. We talked about that evac earlier, and I'll tell you what. Group T is in my chat, which tells me they might have won this game. Lucky's playing insane today. SEC actually looks good today. We're going to see them try to recover there. Kamal committing the Minnesota versus ISU battle. And I'll tell you what, ISU wins this 9 times out of 10. Pump for pump, though. Kamal is looking bad. A full commit of the EMP, and he will go down. Meanwhile, here comes Group T from the other side. Caught out on the edge of the door. Trev Michi is running for his life. A former member, a former friend, an ally, a regret in the sand, and from behind the boxes, he will die. It doesn't go over the way of ISU, but I'll tell you what, it's a recovery nonetheless here. 3 squads remaining. SCC in the middle ground. UT Orange down below. They're all forced to make their way out of the building, but ISU have the edge of zone to themselves. Here we go. I mean, this is so hard for either one of South or St. Clair and University of Texas. Here they go. Texas with a rolling thunder, maybe a little bit too early in my opinion. They still have a lot of space to play on the inside. Either way, it's going to allow them to make this cross. Lucky gets a knock on to Group T. It's a 2v3 situation with UT right on your butt. Waikai on the other side. Kamal playing for tight space after tight space. Lucky with a drop onto Kamal. One final member of Iowa State, and they have to turn their attention towards St. Clair on the very edge of the fence line here. They're stuck with nowhere to go. Sheila makes a prayer out through the side of the window, and the zone barely doesn't find Nixon. I can't believe he tries to sustain on the top, and we have an ad!
Electric vehicles. This IRL test drive will change your mind. Just like that, the influencer has become Toyota BZ. One drive can change your mind.
I don't care! God damn it. Alright.
Airheads have more fun.
Alright, let's look at the scoreboard. You guys already know what it is. Here we go. Game 6 finality. ISU Farmers with a dub on the day. Cumberland University go out in 20th. They don't get to maintain in groups B versus D. Instead, it is a recovery written in the stars here. Beautiful score points, a kind of blemish on their first 2 games of the day, but ultimately a recovery for the Iowa State University team. They're 50 feather. They're either insane or they suck sweet grass. Hopefully, it's going to be insane for the rest of playoffs here. St. Clair Saints keep it competitive. They did win that game, as we kind of saw they were leading up to do. Double wins on the day. This is the best we've seen St. Clair Saints green. I won't say they're a top 10 team, but they might make it into 20th or 19th this week, depending on this. UCSD Gold keeps it competitive. Minnesota State Mavericks finally breach into the top 5 for the very first time in Premier League. Illini Orange also make a recovery from last week after they finished in the bottom 20. Congratulations. Big ups for Full Sail. Western Outlaws around 8th, no problem. Alabama, a great recovery. And yes, the question mark of the day. Southern Miss, the previous champion of Octane Collegiate, the winners of both day 1 and day 2 of their respective groups finish 10th place today. It's about the height and the competition. It continues to grow here in Collegiate. The same for Blue Falcons. They're not number 1, but they are usually more competitive than this. FSU kind of roughs it on the board just as much. UVU are struggling. UT Orange better, but still in the bottom. In Florida, they finally kind of fall off for the very first time here. Mixed bags for the rest of these who are already currently in the top 20. But man, oh man, what a good day of Premier League. I don't know if we're going to get the final standings already, but here we go. Don't know if this is completely positively updated yet. Let me know, OI. Is this officially on the board? Is this the official overall standings? Ultimately, if this is, Cumberland has surpassed Southern Miss. Southern Miss's final finish of 10th today has dropped them in the overall standings, and Cumberland comes out on top. Bellevue and KSU Gold and UFC Exodus finished strongly in the top 5, and Fisher, with a new set of players, Serial Cat and Dom 2 Cracked, had made a jump and a half. We're going to see things, it was 608 for UT Orange. Congratulations, 608 points. Almost missed that. All right, anyways. ISU Farmers, big recoveries. Blue Falcons, Western Outlaws, UCSD Gold, KSU Black falls a little bit. Cherry, SJSU, the St. Clair Saints jump up. Utah keeps themselves competitive. Garnet, Minnesota recover. Illini Orange recover. Southeastern and Tamu Maroon. Who is the tiebreaker here? Is it Southeastern? Because they had a better day of performance? Just tell me it's Southeastern, because I'm pretty sure it is. I'm still going to scream. I'm still going to be pissed. It also makes me mad knowing that Tamu Maroon, one placement higher. What can you do? Anyways, these top 20 teams will move forward into day 4 of their own winners bracket, and these 20 teams will move down into their own 20 for a losers bracket. You want to be here. You want the easier train. No one is eliminated. But next week, we will see who is able to survive. Top 10 on this bracket get to move towards match point for free. And we'll see how it goes. Wait, I'm not there. What now? Yeah, I don't know. You might be dead, brother. All right, guys. It has been an incredible day, incredible week of Premier League. This is my time to do my usual, hey, don't you like watching Zephyr? We have scrims every Tuesday and Wednesday at the exact same starting time for Collegiate, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We check out Collegiate scrims Tuesdays and Wednesdays. On Tuesdays, we also do our Tuesday tier list, where we rank all 40 premier teams. It's at the end of the stream, and typically it gets pretty goofy. Ultimately, past that, we are going to have, once again, another Premier Day, Premier Match Day 4, next week at 8 p.m. Eastern here. And all you guys have to do is come out and watch. I appreciate the support. A huge shout out to everybody who came out today. Prediction, I never finished this one. It was over under 13 KP. Bellevue. Hold on, really quick. Let me check this. Bellevue, game 6, 14 kills. Congratulations to the over. I forgot about the prediction. Shape Generator, thank you for the follow, my brother. All right, one last thing. If you guys are interested in sticking with it, it was for game 5? Maybe I forgot. All right. Welcome. All right, anyways. If you guys are interested in staying up to date with Collegiate and anything up to do with Zephyr, whether it be casting, extra tournaments, or just covering the action with Apex Legends, I don't play very much, but I do love to cast some good competition here. As a result, give me a little bit of a follow, give me some love in the chat there, and of course, if you haven't already, 500,000 community points. If you watch today, throw your points on that. You get a max of 2,000 per stream. If we get to 500,000 community points, I will host my own Collegiate tournament with a prize pool and sponsors using the good old-fashioned Zephyr connections. Other than that, I want to thank everyone for coming out. Everyone who followed, I absolutely loved it. Anybody who subscribed today, the big fat 0 on the board, I absolutely loved it. Thank you guys so much. And once again, I appreciate everybody who's helped out and has made the streams as great as they have been. Thank you to all the players today, also in groups A versus C, who actually took the time to change their tags so that we could read the lobby easier and so that people could actually watch and see what team was what. I know you guys didn't have to do that, but I'm very thankful. That was very sweet of you guys, and it helped out the observers, and it helps everyone else who actually comes out to watch here today. So, Bulldog Kush, thank you for those final 1,360 points there for the Collegiate tournament that I'm hoping desperately to host. Hopefully we can get some more streams going here. I'll come up, I'll tinker with something, and I will announce it on Twitter if I figure it out. Maple, you know I love you. Congratulations to Cumberland figuring it out eventually today. Even though you guys lost, you're still the #1 seed going in. FPS Aether, thank you. Keep them coming, guys. Keep those points coming. We want nothing more than a collegiate tournament. Played horribly all day? Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Group T, congratulations for proving the haters wrong. You're probably like 18th or 17th on the board. We'll see. All right. My nose is so itchy from yelling. It just keeps vibrating. I literally can't stop itching it. Thank you so much, guys. I'm going to end the stream now. It was incredible. 40-something viewers all day. Wait, Zephyr. Tier list something. Tier list Tuesdays. Don't forget it. Tier list Tuesdays. That's what we get up to on Tuesdays, Jonkler. All right. If you want to come out and watch it, it's on Tuesdays. I was going to say, watch Smalls 1v3 us. No, I'm good. All right. Thank you, guys. I really do appreciate it. I will see you guys next time.